where politics and justice intertwine, a storm is brewing. Welcome to As the Peach Turns. Fani Willis, once a rising legal star, now finds herself at the center of a legal firestorm. Accusations of misconduct and ethical breaches have cast a shadow over her career. As the investigation intensifies, the stakes couldn't be higher. Join us as we unravel the tangled web of power, ambition, and justice in this episode of As the Peach Turns.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw that thumbnail, you saw the title, so let's go ahead and get at it. Welcome back, everybody. I do appreciate you all stopping by on this wonderful Thursday. There is, who knows? Today might be the day. It might be in just a few moments when Judge McAfee comes back with his decision related to Fani Willis' case. So what I wanted to do today was I kind of wanted to look at what happened yesterday. As many of you all know, yesterday Judge McAfee struck down 6 of the 22 charges that are being levied against former President Trump and some others. And he said that these are not good, they're not coherent, whatever, and kind of pushed them out. And so a lot of people are interpreting that a lot of different ways. So what I did was I found a couple of news articles kind of explaining it, talking heads talking about it, and then I found 2 legal experts to kind of unpack it for us. Though I do still believe that that move actually showed where Judge McAfee is going to land in the final decision, I don't know if we should be end zone dancing right now. So I don't want to take too much longer, but I do want to point that out. That's what we're going to look at. So there's a couple of articles that have popped up, a couple talking heads I think that we could find some value in if we just take the time to look at them. But at the end of the day, let not your hearts be troubled. Our Lord and our King still reigns. So even if whatever he decides, no matter how it goes, it doesn't matter. Christ still reigns. So let us do this. Let's bring this video in. This one is from Fox.
Today, 6 counts now struck by the judge in the Georgia case against former President Donald Trump. He still faces 10 more charges there. The judge said there was a, quote, lack of detail that was provided by the prosecution around the dismissed charges. Some calling this, quote, embarrassing for Fulton County DA Fani Willis as we await a ruling on her future and whether or not she can stay on this case. This is totally separate from that part of the story. We expect we may hear something shortly from the judge on that. And that came because of allegations of an improper relationship that may have been funded by taxpayers with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Let's bring in Alina Habba and the attorney for former President Trump on the team on several of these cases. Alina, welcome. Good to have you here. Good afternoon to you. What's your reaction to what happened today in Georgia?
I wish that all the counts had been dropped because that's probably what should have been. I mean, at least it was a step in the right direction. It goes to the sloppiness of, frankly, the prosecutors down there. We know that that's the case. And more importantly, that this should not have been brought in general. The attorney handling this case put out a statement that I think says it all, and at the end of the day, remember, we've got a prosecutor here who's currently being questioned about her own ethical obligations, her ability to even stay on this case. I'm going to defer to this judge to make the right decision, but today was a good step in the right direction.
What do you think it means for whether or not he will decide to remove Fani Willis from this case? What does your gut tell you on this, Alina?
I don't think it's indicative necessarily of his actions in terms of Fani. I think that Fani, whatever she calls herself, she's got her own issues that are outside of this case that clearly have permeated her decision-making ability. And as I've always said, as my clients always said, we know that these were motivated by one thing and one thing only, and that's election interference that's trying to bring Trump down. And on the heels of last night, I think that it's very clear that the American people are seeing it for what it is and are going to stand up and not take it very much.
I want to get your thoughts, even though you're not directly involved in this. You're part of the larger legal team representing the former president. But the first case that is set to go to trial is in New York City here on March 25th under Judge Merchan. And it deals with the hush money that was paid to Stormy Daniels. That's what the charges in this case, and that it was diverted in the way that it was paid through legal fees. Do you think that case is going to get underway on March 25th? And how does the former president feel about this one that is likely to happen before, right in the middle of the election season?
Yeah, it's a couple of good questions there. Number one, do I think it's going to go ahead? Well, really, it shouldn't. We have an immunity defense that's currently up on the Supreme Court. It's going to be made a decision. It should be stayed until all of those decisions are made, number one, and we'll see what happens there. Number two, let's remember what this is, Martha. Stormy Daniels is probably one of the oldest legendary let's get Trump cases that we saw come out. Her attorney, I believe, is in prison or was probably disbarred. Michael Cohen, yet again, reared his ugly head in that. And here we go, years and years later, they decide, oh, guess what? He's the GOP nominee. Let's bring up this case again. We have Mark Pomerantz, who was in this case involved, wrote a book about how they didn't bring the case against President Trump, and it infuriated him and drove him to the point of quitting. This is all about politics. How does the president feel? I think exactly that way. This is political. There's no place for this in America. DAs and AGs should not be visiting the White House and the administration before bringing complaints against the leading front-running candidate for the Republican Party because Joe Biden can't walk and can't spell Bob backwards. That's not our problem. That's their problem. But it's very clear what the motivation is. And I think the president's frustrated for the nation and ready to get back to work in November.
So, everybody watched the real estate evaluation case and the enormous settlement that they are asking for in that case. Any update on when that money is supposed to be paid? What's the latest, Alina?
Yeah, the latest is the same. Obviously, it wasn't a settlement. It was a judgment. President Trump has no business or wouldn't settle for something he didn't do. So this was a judgment by a judge that was clearly had Miss James had in his pocket. The judgment was absurd. The American people see that. The number is ridiculous. It's never been seen before. We truly stand on the same position that the appellate division needs to step in and decide what's right and parse out basically all the injustice that has happened to President Trump. So we're waiting on the appellate division. We'll see what happens.
So I know they announced a bond in the Carroll case, around $90 million in the Carroll case this week. Any closer to getting a bond in the real estate case? And you're right, it's a judgment, not a settlement. No agreement made in that case.
Yeah, no, I unfortunately, I can't speak to that. That's privileged, and I am the attorney, one of the attorneys on that case. But like I said, the judgment's absurd, and the fact that we're even talking about this, Martha, is absurd. And I hope that the appellate division will do the right thing here, as we've seen them do a few times before.
Okay, we will see. Always good to speak with you, Alina Habba. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
Don't hear what Sean has to say. All right, so I just want to give you like a high overview. They talk about a lot of things related to Trump, but I do think the overall tenor seems to be a lot of this is just charades. A lot of this is lawfare, as they've called it, where they're finding something to somehow or another distract this man from running for president. Though I personally don't think he's the best candidate that we could run as American people. I definitely don't think Joe Biden is the best candidate that the Democrats could run. I think you should, all of this, it just reeks of trying to keep somebody from running. Just beat them. That's all you got to do. If Joe Biden was better, just beat him. That's it. You wouldn't care. Remember, this is the most popular president that has ever run for political office, ever. Joe Biden won by a larger margin than Barack Obama. And so, therefore, there should be zero issue with him shellacking Trump. The lines should be lined up. They should be lined up right now in order to vote with great enthusiasm for Joe Biden. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter. You could do away with every charge. Joe Biden should be able to beat Trump without any issues. No issues at all. And I think we know why that's not the case. If you could, please, if you like this kind of content, could you please help a guy out? Can I get 6 or 7 more likes? I'm just trying to help it out. Just help a guy out. Help me out. I appreciate. Hey, I like Vivek. I like him. So, and actually, I was definitely supporting him. I feel like he represents a younger mind, a younger person that has a clear grasp on society as it is today, because this world is different. And when we're running presidents that were born in the 50s almost and in the 40s, their understanding of this day and age is just different. And they rely a lot on the people around them. And those people around them may or may not have good intentions and may or may not be able to explain to him what is going on in a way that is understandable. I mean, I just read that Joe Biden started a TikTok account. Make me believe that Joe Biden actually started his own TikTok. Okay, make me believe that. It's not real. But on the same note, though, if you told me Vivek was on TikTok, I totally would believe it. It makes perfect sense because I've seen him on other social platforms. He runs his own deal. I got you. That makes sense. So I personally thought he would have been a better candidate. But I mean, I understand some of the arguments. I understand some of the pushbacks. I got all that stuff. I think this is a very interesting time. But before we get too far away, let's go ahead and get Megan in here. We're going to talk to Megan Kelly, and we're going to look at what they said about yesterday.
Judge McAfee gave an interview to a radio station. It's so fascinating when judges do this. Like last week, a couple days ago. And he was talking about, thanks, babe. Duggar's bringing me a glass of water. He was talking about this case and whether he's going to possibly change his decision now that he has a primary challenger. This is a heavily Democratic district, won 73% for Joe Biden. Fani Willis was elected as DA in the same place where he's now going to have to run for re-election because he looked like he was unopposed, but now he is opposed. And so he sat down and gave an interview. And I'm trying to get the name of the radio host that he gave it to. I'll play it in a second. But take a listen to him. Oh, Shelley Winter saying he is not. Do not fear. He will not be changing his opinion based on the new challenger. Watch.
I had a rough draft and an outline before I ever heard a rumor that someone wanted to run for this position. So the result is not going to change because of politics. I am calling it as best I can in the law as I understand it.
Ooh, so that's interesting, Mike, that he had a rough draft already, and he's reassuring everybody that the new challenger, who's considerably to the left, and he's more on the right, is not going to make him change anything. Do you believe it?
No, I don't. I'm very concerned about the politics here. I think that this is a young Kemp judge. He is in a very Democrat area in Fulton County. And the fact that he said he was going to wait 2 weeks to make his decision, though during that 2 weeks was the filing deadline to figure out whether he was going to get a challenger. And sure as hell, he got a Democrat challenger. So I do think the politics are at play here. And Exhibit A of the politics being at play is he's on a radio show announcing that his what his decision is going to be and how it's not going to change.
Okay, I got to disagree with that. You all heard the radio interview. I don't think he was. Let me know down in the chat if you were here with me yesterday and we listened to the radio interview. And matter of fact, I have it. I'll drop it in the chat for y'all as well. If you listened to the radio interview and you felt like he was mamsy-pamsy or whatever like that, let me know. Because what I heard was not what this man heard. And I don't want to disparage this gentleman. I have no beef with him at all. I didn't hear that from Judge McAfee. Again, I could be wrong. I'm going to drop the link in the chat from that video. It's on my channel right now. So I just dropped it. If you didn't hear it yesterday, we listened to Judge McAfee do the interview with a radio station, and he kind of explained where he is. And then please keep in mind, I think if he was just waiting to see when the deadline was last Friday. So he should have gone ahead and just dropped it then, if that been the case. But we heard yesterday the man is working. He actually is doing his job and closing out murder cases and closing out trials and such like that. I disagree with that. I totally disagree. But if you think so, if you didn't hear it, rather, check out the video. It's in the link down below. Let's go.
What can we glean? This is from an article in the New York Times, Dave, reporting on this interview he gave, but we pulled the clips. What can we glean from the following answer where he's talking about his children? As Mike points out, he's only 34, young man. He's younger than all of us. I mean, he's a babe. but he's doing a good job. So listen to what he says about his children.
You know, I've got 2 kids, 5 and 3. They're too young to have any idea of what's going on or what I do. But what I'm looking forward to one day is maybe they will grow up a little bit and they ask me about it. And I'm looking forward to looking them in the eye and telling them I played it straight and I did the best I could.
I like that. What do you take away from those 2 sound bites?
I like it too, Megan. I read the article, saw the interview, and look, I take him at his word. And it is funny that I'm the one defending the Federalist Society judge, whereas Mike doesn't have much faith in him. I think
it's true.
I like what he's done. And people on my side of the aisle have been critical of him, saying he's allowed this to become a circus, but I don't blame him for that. Remember, it was Nathan Wade who submitted the sworn affidavit saying that the relationship didn't begin until afterwards, and I got repaid half. And because they did that, that made the issue of lying important. And that's why he had to do all these interviews and hearings. And so I think he has done well. He's got a lot of gravitas, even though he's only 34 years old, too young to be president himself, mind you. But that's the one benefit of a receding hairline. He just looks a lot more serious.
Okay, I want to point out something, because I've heard this argument too, that the hearings were a circus. And I'm sure you all have heard this as well, that the hearings were a circus. And to some degree, I understand, and I do think the judge should keep order. No problem there. But let's just be honest. You all saw the optic as well. And let's be honest, more honest. Nobody was saying it was a circus until Fani Willis got on the stand. Nobody was saying it was a circus even though Nathan was lying, even though Terrence was lying, nobody really saw it as circusy until Fani came in and truly showed us what a circus could be. So I think the optic, and I told somebody this before, I do believe that the optics of a white man sitting on the judge stand, sitting up high, all that kind of stuff, looking down at a black woman, telling her that she's being wild and out of order, being unprofessional, showing contempt, and so on and so forth, would have been worse than allowing her to just keep acting a fool. But please keep in mind also, if he had checked her and she didn't act a fool, a lot of the things we heard, we would not have heard. We wouldn't have heard lies. These are all lies, all that foolishness, all that bravado, all that male energy that she was exuding. We wouldn't have seen all that. And people would have because then the next time you saw her, she was very poised. Hair was done, had her dress was on right, all that kind of stuff. It was a different Fani. So if we had not seen the tale of 2 Fanis, I think we would have, the arguments would have swayed in the wrong direction, but we were able to see. And then a lot of people were able to put 3 and 4 together and say, yo, if she's acting like this in court, what's she like in her office? What has she been like with her subordinates and so on and so forth? So it became very clear. So actually, I think Judge McAfee allowing a little bit of room for Fani actually was good. That's just my perspective on it, because it allowed her to really air out and let people see like, yo, she's out of control. But if you keep her in check, nobody would have saw that, and that would have gone completely away. But then let's just be honest. She wouldn't have come in there had she not been ready to act a fool. Because remember, they weren't even asking for her. They weren't even looking for her. So I thank you all so much. There's a lot of you all in the chat. Thank you so much. I will definitely be doing my best to pin some of the comments and holler at them. I'll probably just drop them on the screen. I really do appreciate y'all today. There's a lot of you all. We got a lot of videos to finish up with, so let's bring them back in. If I can do this while talking, because, you know, that kind of thing right there. And here we go.
It's true. It does show his lack of vanity, because you don't really have to have a receding hairline like that at age 34 in modern day America.
I had one at 19.
34 years old, went to Emory, led the college Republicans, an accomplished cellist, went to University of Georgia Law School, was in the Federalist Society, clerked or interned for 2 conservative judges on the Georgia Supreme Court, but also there's this line item, you know, he gave $150 to Fani. We talked about that. So did Dave. Like, it wasn't that big a deal, but he worked for Fani Willis, Mike. He worked for her because he eventually spent some time in the DA's office, and Fani was above him on the totem pole, not in her current stint as the DA, but when she was, you know, more senior to him as an up and coming DA. So it's interesting. When she was on the stand, she said something like, and he worked with a body, the terrible lawyer, sorry, Abadi, who did that hearing the other day. And she said something like, you know, when you two work for me, Abadi, and you, Judge McAfee, in the DA's office, and I don't know how that power structure may or may not play in his deference toward her, his, you know, coming up under her.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't even look at her when he was trying to tell her to cool her jets and to be an adult and be a lawyer and respect the court and respect the process. Also, this judge was an appointee under Governor Kemp. He was the Georgia Inspector General for a couple of years before Governor Kemp appointed him as a judge. And as everyone knows, Kemp and his people are not exactly fans of President Trump.
No, they're Republicans, but they are not MAGA Republicans. And, you know, Trump's gone after Kemp pretty hard over these past few years. Financial experts thought we were in the clear.
Sorry about that.
They were anticipating.
All right. So, yeah, I don't see all of the hand wringing, all of the woe is me, the sky is falling about Judge McAfee. Now, let's just be honest. He has a heavy burden to bear. Let's just be honest. There's no way that he's going to make everybody, in Fulton County happy. There's no way he's going to make everybody in Atlanta, in Georgia, in the United States happy. There's no way. I mean, there's no way to split this thing in a way that would make everybody happy. So the fact that he's even poised enough to handle this, I think is commendable. Again, he might rule in a way that I totally disagree. And I might be on there angry and disappointed in his decision, but I can't say that the man is not making an attempt. I do think that trying to tie him to a $150 contribution, if you worked in somebody's office, I would hate for somebody to say, oh, Jason supported so-and-so's kid by buying the Girl Scout cookies. Come on, for real? Come on. It's $1.50. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Joe Biden left more guns in Afghanistan than that, and y'all ain't worried about it. Ooh, did I say that out loud? All right. So thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate you all. This is going to be a fun one because I've been truly enjoying this commentator as he's been discussing various and sundry aspects of the legal process, because my name is Jason and I'm a pre-K law student. I've never been to law school. I've never done anything more than watch like all of the episodes of Law and Order Special Victims. That's all I got. So that's my law and legal education. So watching these and interacting with these has been extremely insightful for me. So therefore, that's why I do these shows, is to kind of go over and listen to other people and listen to your comments and kind of banter back and forth and kind of get a better grip on what's happening apart from just listening to the news. That's why I do this. So I appreciate it. If you're enjoying this, if you could just hit that like button, I really do appreciate it. Just lets me know that you enjoy this, that you're finding some kind of value in it. Now, you might be somebody that doesn't like it. You might be like, Jason, I don't like you. You talk too loud. I don't care. And if for people like that and you don't find value in the show, just hit the like button 3 times. I promise you it works. I promise you. Trust me. All right, let's bring in Viva Frei.
Alrighty, everybody. One day, there will be a day.
Viva Frei. He is an attorney in Canada. He's very insightful. He's very energetic, and he's great. So I really enjoy him. Shout out to Viva Frei. You can find him on Rumble. I'll make sure I leave all the links to these down in the description as well. So let's go hear what he had to say about the 6 cases being kicked out yesterday.
And there will not be a Fani Willis update to update the world on. Today is not that day. There is an update in the Fani Willis case. And I've got to say, it's making my prediction that Scott McAfee is going to disqualify Nathan Wade and Fani Willis all the more likely. And I do want to toot my own horn here, or pat myself on the back. I called this to some extent. When that RICO indictment came out back in August, I believe I referred to it as a steaming pile of judicial dog poop. And if any of you think I'm exaggerating, I referred to it as a steaming pile of judicial dog poop right along with the hashtag on Twitter. For those who haven't read it, rest assured, the Georgia indictment is a steaming pile of judicial dog poop. Anybody who says otherwise is a moron or a liar or a combination of both. Or a Democrat, sticking tongue out face emoji guy, hashtag judicial dog poop. Now, why did I say that? Because the indictment was a steaming pile of judicial dog poop. One of the allegations in the indictment itself, let me go back and read it because it was in that tweet of the judicial dog poop. It says, and I quote, "On or about the 17th day of September 2021, Donald John Trump committed the felony offense of solicitation of violation of oath by public officer in violation of OCGA sections whatever in Fulton County, Georgia, by unlawfully soliciting, requesting, and importuning Georgia Secretary of State Brad Ratfaceburger."
Let me stop real quick. I thought it was loud too, so I super apologize. I was like, "Yo, that sounds loud." So I apologize real quick. I'm gonna back it up a little, Taste. I did lower the volume because it sounded loud in my ears, so I apologize. Somebody just mentioned that it was loud, and I apologize about that. That was my bad. I was thinking it was normal, but I apologize. So I'm gonna back it up a little, Taste. Hopefully it sounds better. If you find it sounds better in the chat, can you just drop a 1? I'm about to start it back. Let's just back up like a minute or so. I'll say a minute, a couple seconds. There we go.
Those who haven't read it, rest assured, the Georgia indictment is a steaming pile of judicial dog poop. Anybody who says otherwise is a moron or a liar or a combination of both. Or a Democrat, sticking tongue-out face emoji guy. Hashtag judicial dog poop. Now, why did I say that? Because the indictment was a steaming pile of judicial dog poop. One of the allegations in the indictment itself, let me go back and read it because it was in that tweet of the judicial dog poop. It says, and I quote, "On or about the 17th day of September 2021, Donald John Trump committed the felony offense of solicitation of violation of oath by public officer in violation of OCGA sections whatever in Fulton County, Georgia, by unlawfully soliciting, requesting, and importuning Georgia Secretary of State Brad Ratfaceburger, a public officer, to engage in conduct constituting the felony offense of violation of oath by public officer, OCGA and whatever sections, by unlawfully, quote, decertifying the election or whatever the correct legal remedy is and announce the true winner, end quote, in willful and intentional violation of the terms of the oath of said person as prescribed by law with intent that said person engage in said conduct. This was an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy." The indictment was such a steaming pile of judicial dog poop, it actually alleged that Donald Trump broke the law by asking Raffensperger to do whatever the legal remedy is to ensure that the proper results of the election came through. He broke the law by asking, imploring, importuning Brad Raffensperger to do whatever the proper legal remedy is. Yes, you read it, in that steaming pile of judicial dog poop. And it seems that I was not the only one who believed that that indictment was a steaming pile of judicial dog poop, because a number of the defendants asked to strike a number of the charges, 6 of the indictments, and today, Scott McAfee, the judge who is currently deciding whether or not to disqualify Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, struck 6 of the indictments, 6 of the charges from that indictment. The defendants challenged counts 2, 5, 6, 23, 28, and 38 of the indictment by way of special demurrer. Demurrers provide a means for the criminally accused to ensure that the state's charging document satisfies the constitutional mandates of due process and the 6th Amendment. Very simply put, because it's described in greater detail in the decision itself, a demurrer, I think it's a French origin, demeurer, to stay or to reside, but I don't actually know the legal French origin of the term, the etymology, whatever. A demurrer is basically like in civil law, if people make allegations that are sufficiently vague that you don't actually know what you're defending against. In civil law, at least in Quebec, when I was a practicing attorney, you could ask for a motion for specifics, a motion for details, provide some details so that I know what exactly you're accusing me of in this civil case. There's a criminal equivalent. It's called a demurrer, to strike accusations, to strike charges that are so vague that the defendant doesn't actually know what specifically is being accused of them, so that they are incapable of providing a defense. And in this case, the defendants are saying in these 6 charges in the indictment, they're vaguely alleging that we solicited, importuned people to violate their oath of office. The defendants sought the dismissal of the charges on 2 grounds. On the one hand, they allege that the indictment didn't specify what oath of office is alleged to have been violated. Judge Scott McAfee came to the conclusion that there can only be 2 oath of offices here. One is an oath to the Constitution. The other one is the oath to the Constitution of the state of Georgia. So although they don't specify what specific oath they were alleged to have importuned to violate, that it's pretty clear which oaths that they're talking about. but that it's not clear which provisions of these oaths they are talking about, because they're talking about the U.S. Constitution and the Constitution of the state of Georgia. And like Scott McAfee rightly observes, there's a lot in those oaths. There are many, many amendments, and some scholars have devoted their lives to one specific amendment of those respective oaths. And although it says, yeah, they importuned people to violate their oaths, they don't mention which provisions, which amendments, which articles of those oaths they were alleged to have been encouraged to violate. Our appellate courts have provided a well-used standard for evaluating a special demurrer. The test is not whether the indictment could have been made more definite and certain, but whether it contains the elements of the offense intended to be charged and sufficiently apprises the defendant of what he must be prepared to meet, and in case any other proceedings are taken against him for a similar offense, whether the record shows with accuracy to what extent he may plead a former acquittal or conviction. And just to give one example of one of the charges in the indictment and the vagueness of this particular charge, I'll read one in particular, but they're all mutatis mutandis, pretty much the same. Count 5 alleges that defendant Trump solicited the Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives to violate his oath of office on December 7, 2020, by requesting or importuning him to call a special session to unlawfully appoint presidential electors. The 6 impugned charges are all drafted virtually identically in terms of the vagueness of the oath of office, the random provision that they were encouraged, importuned to violate, but this is what the judge says as relates to not specifying which provision of their oath of office they were alleged to have been importuned to violate. On its own, the United States Constitution contains hundreds of clauses, any one of which can be the subject of a lifetime study. Academics and litigators devote their entire careers to the specialization of a single amendment. To further complicate the matter, the Georgia Constitution is not a, quote, mere shadow, end quote, of its federal counterpart, and although some provisions feature similar language, the Georgia Constitution has been interpreted to contain dramatically different meanings. What I especially love about that astute observation by Judge McAfee is that there are a great many constitutional scholars who have dedicated their lives to studying the Constitution, such as Lawrence Tribe, who just had his butt handed to him by 9 Supreme Court justices. Apparently, he needs to better dedicate his life to understanding the Constitution, but I digress. The court's concern is less that the state has failed to allege sufficient conduct of the defendants. In fact, it has alleged an abundance. However, the lack of detail concerning an essential legal element is, in the undersigned's opinion, fatal. So Scott McAfee, who's currently deciding whether or not to disqualify Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, has decided that 6 of the 41 charges in the indictment need to be tossed under this special demurrer because they are sufficiently vague, such that the defendants really don't even know how to defend themselves against the accusations. In one of the footnotes, the judge goes over the recourse, the remedies that the state might have in terms of refiling an amended indictment or reconvening the special grand jury. From what I understand, there are basically 3 courses of action. The state can appeal this decision, do nothing with it, and move the file forward with those 6 charges not included in it, or they can resubmit an amended indictment to try to cure it of its defects. My prediction is I don't know if Fani Willis can do anything until the judge decides on her disqualification. My prediction is that she does get disqualified, so whatever new DA comes in to take over this steaming pile of judicial dog poop of an indictment will make that decision at that time. This is all crumbling faster than dried brownies. Than a crumbling cookie. This is coming down faster than a house of cards that was made with dollar store glue. But most importantly, as relates to my prediction that Scott McAfee disqualifies the 2 of them, I think he's laying the groundwork now to show them that he is not afraid of making decisions that might be politically unpopular, although I do dare say that justice one day in the near future might be politically popular and we might be on our way to that day. But that being said, I will obviously be following this. I will obviously come to you as soon as there's a decision on the motion to disqualify. If you like what I do, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Viva Frei on Rumble, Viva Frei on Twitter, vivabarneslaw.locals.com on Locals with my partner-in-law, Robert Barnes. We'll be talking about this Sunday night, sure as sugar, during our Sunday nights Law for the People extravaganzas. Most importantly, get out there. The days are an hour longer. Sunlight, exercise, eat healthy, talk to people in real life, and now you know you belong. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Why y'all picking on Viva? Why? Wait, hold on. Where is this one? Why are y'all picking on Viva Frei? Come on now. Come on. You guys are too much. Yeah, he's a lot of energy, for sure. No question about it. He's a lot of energy, but I do believe he's very smart, and he gives you a lot of good information. And I kind of agree. I do think that if we want to, put on our tinfoil hats of conspiracy, Scott McAfee yesterday kicked out those 6 charges to test the water to see what the response would be. Would the overwhelming response be good? Would the overwhelming response be bad? And then that's going to really help drive how he puts out that document later on today or tomorrow, whenever he makes his decision. There you go. You can do that for tinfoil hat purposes. I don't think that's what he did, but I mean, I could see why somebody would say that. I mean, I got you. Now, somebody made a mention of an article. I'm not going to read it on the air. It's about the Atlanta Public Defenders were only being paid $15,000 and they quit on the biggest RICO case in history. I'm gonna have to read it, look into that. Wow. And this is literally just a couple of hours ago, just yesterday. Please forgive me. Just yesterday. I'm gonna have to look into this because that's gonna add to the issue. The issue is that Fulton County has entirely too much crime, has entirely too many cases that they're working through. And if you just it looked like 5 or 6 attorneys that just said, hey, we're not getting paid enough. And then they said, we're out of here. Per case now, mind you, that's not 15,000, a week like Nathan was getting. That's 15,000 per case. So if the case took, a month, you only get 15 grand for that month. Not saying only, but I'm sure you got other expenses and other things you got to worry about. But let's say it took 2 months. That's 7,500. It's getting a little bit less and less exciting to do this, but that's wild. And it's in the YSL case. I'm gonna have to find this article. It looks like it's in the AJC because I do have one more video that really, I think the last guy, he's a lot calmer, he's a lot cooler, a lot more collected, and I think he explains and really will pull a bow on that, what happened with the 6 cases. But I do want to see, maybe this AJC article might be worth something to look at. I don't know if I'm gonna pull it up in real time. I might have to do it, at least read it before I jump out there. Yo, George, Atlanta is the 6th largest city in the U.S. Wow. Okay. I think I found it, but I was also getting hit with that. You got to subscribe. So I will come back to it. All right. Let's hear from Phil Holloway.
Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick break between scuba dives today to tell you what this latest court ruling by Judge Scott McAfee means with respect to the Fani Willis RICO prosecution of Donald Trump and, of course, all the other co-defendants. So what happened, Donald Trump and 5 other defendants filed something called a special demurrer. Now, what that means is they said, look, Judge, the charging document, at least as it pertains to 6 of the counts of the indictment, does not put me or the defendants on notice of exactly what we're charged with. And we can't properly defend ourselves because of the way the charges are drafted. In other words, they're too broad or they're too vague or too non-specific. You've got to know what you're charged with so you can properly defend against it. So that was the basis of this special demurrer. And so the judge actually agreed. He says, you know what? That's right. They were too broad. They cited portions of the Georgia and the maybe the entirety of the federal Constitution, so it's just not narrow enough. So those 6 counts, as it pertains to those 6 defendants, are gone from the case for now. So what does this mean for Fani Willis? What can she do? Well, she can appeal. She can file with the Court of Appeals and say, you know, Judge Scott McAfee got it wrong, and we want you to reinstate all of the counts in this indictment. Of course, that process takes a long time. What else can she do? Well, she can go forward with the case as it is, as long as she doesn't get disqualified, and she can just prosecute them without those charges for those 6 defendants. That's option 2. But what I think she's probably going to be forced to do, and what, if I were her, would make the most sense, is to take the entire case back to the grand jury and start all over from square one, at least as it pertains to the criminal charges. She would have to draft a new indictment, one that cures the defects that the judge says he found in those 6 counts. Now, if that happens, she would have to take all the defendants and everybody. It would all start over from square one. So, what will Fani Willis do? We don't know. But I guarantee you she's probably trying to figure that out right this minute, and we'll know soon enough what route she's going to take. But for now, those 6 counts for those 6 defendants are gone from the case. So Anyway, there you have it. I hope this clears it up. I've been getting a lot of questions, but we will certainly be monitoring things, and as we get further developments, hope to see you guys right back here. Thanks.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. All right, so there's a lot of options that Fani has. I think the biggest option and the biggest question is, will Fani be able to do these options? Will she still be on the case, which seems to be the question of the day? And at the current moment, I don't know. But while Phil was talking, you all got me looking at this RICO case. Okay, I'm sincerely worried about Atlanta. And by the way, if you're new, welcome to all my new subscribers and new viewers. My name is Jason. I'm a former classroom teacher, Christian deacon that likes to talk about social commentary and such like that. So I get on live and kind of talk about it. Since this big case has been going on almost in my backyard, kind of sort of my backyard, I decided I would come on every day and kind of talk about it. So that's what I do. That being the case, one of the big issues is that Fani Willis is very popular for RICO charges and racketeering charges. Okay. And somebody posted a moment ago, and I just started kind of doing a little bit of on-air research. Apparently, these Atlanta public defenders were working for Fani. And so when these men and women abandoned this, said, hey, we're not getting paid enough, it is now throwing this RICO case. Oh, by the way, there's a very big street gang case that Fani has been trying. It's called the YSL. Young Thug is the rapper that is involved in this, and the group YSL is a street gang. It's a rap group. I don't know, whatever. But this has been going on. This is the largest RICO case really ever in Atlanta, in Georgia, period. And these men and women that decided they weren't being paid enough, 15 grand for a case, that's not very much, I guess, when you really put it into consideration that these cases have been dragging on. Keep in mind, this YSL case has been going on for about a year. So it is very possible that she has now undercut this entire case. But somebody brought in a comment, and I haven't checked it out yet, but here it is right here. Valor Warrior says, the YSL indictment is the same. On the overt acts, number 75, has zero nexus to defendants. Judge won't allow a testimony because it has none. However, it is an actual listed overt act, and that blows the mind. And one of the things I want to point out, because I think this is what we have to be honest about, Fani Willis's DA office is extremely sloppy. Whether they're totally incompetent, or whether they're trying to move too fast, or whether they're just trying to run a slick one, I don't know. But I think we saw that with Abate. Go back and look at the closing arguments for that disqualification case. You saw a night and day difference between the defense team and Fani Willis's team. There's no way to say it other way. Abate was abysmal. It was horrible. But then, since then, we've heard so many other things. Fani Willis submits her calendar, and it's the wrong date. Okay? She submits her calendar to prove that her and Nathan weren't together, and it's a totally different month. Come on now. She, again, we can go back to their testimony. She just paid cash. I just keep cash. But then in the process of saying that, she admits that she took money from her campaign to keep in her house. They're just reckless. They demonstrate a true incompetence. And again, it doesn't matter what you think. The actual case that they're trying to prosecute really doesn't matter. Fani Willis would get shellacked by the head dog catcher of Fulton County at this point in the game. They're that incompetent. And I just want people to think about it. Are you comfortable? Again, whether you think Trump is guilty as today is Thursday or is innocent as a fresh driven snow, do you really think that this team is going to bring you a result that you would be satisfied with? I don't think so. I don't think so. They've demonstrated a high level of incompetence. We haven't even talked about Nathan Wade and his, I don't know what kind of billing that is that he was doing, but my goodness, in the morning, I would love to make $250 an hour and I could just write that I had a meeting that lasted 8 hours and get paid for it. Sign me up for that job right now. I'm doing it today. The level of incompetence, you have to be honest and say, yeah, this is not a good look. This is globally not a good look. I mean, we literally have Peace Baby from Australia that comes, grace and peace to you, from Australia that's watching this. We have people all over the world, dare I say intergalactic, okay? There are all kinds of people watching this that are not tied to Georgia, that are not tied to Atlanta, that are watching this, and they will imagine what they will think if they watch Fani Willis try to depose or grill somebody like she did and behave like she did in her disqualification case. Wait, her disqualification case. She acted a fool at her own case. What do you think she's going to do at Trump's? What do you think she's going to do? I'm sorry. There's no good reason to believe that. I just want somebody to explain why Fani and Nathan should still be allowed to do this. That's what I would love to hear. Now, whether or not it's legal, whether or not they, all those other smoke and mirrors, I would love somebody to just explain why you think they should continue to be involved in this when they've shown this high level, dare I say, collegiate level of incompetence. Whereas I show a pre-K level of law school ability. I just want to make sure I say that. I'm Jason, and I'm a pre-K law student. Their incompetence is almost laughable. That's why I call it As the Peach Rots. It's a daytime soap opera that Tyler Perry couldn't have written. This is a straight to DVD emotional drama, romantic drama. I don't know what else to say. It's horrible. And I can't think of any good reason why they should remain on the case. Even if you wanted the integrity of the case, you should want better people to run against or to run this case and to try this case than Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. They've demonstrated the most egregious inability to even take care of their basic abilities. When Nathan Wade, I mean, there's arguments that Nathan Wade scammed Fulton County as it relates to the Fulton County jail situation. Here in Atlanta, there was a problem. There was a situation where there were a lot of inmates dying in the Fulton County jail. They brought in Nathan Wade and apparently went through a lot of the evidence and found all this, that, and the third, and cleaned a lot of those issues up. You know, it sounds like a lot of those issues were done well, as far as I know. The only problem is once it was finished, the Fulton County said, okay, well, can we get your reports? We can kind of see how you did this and this, that, and the third. And the man said, I got it in my head. No report was written. Nothing was written about how he went about solving it's crazy. And I'll pull that case up as well. My point is this. If you want justice, if you want to prove that Donald Trump committed all these terrible things and he deserves to be put under the jail and have his toes nibbled on by rabid squirrels, you would want the best, most non-confrontational prosecutor involved. And please tell me that you don't think that's Fani Willis. Because I know Jason don't think it's Fani Willis. I don't think it's Nathan Wade. I don't think it's Fulton County DA's office. But how do you explain that? I mean, I would love to hear, how do you make that make sense? Okay. All right, let me, somebody asked another question. I want to bring this up real quick. Here it is right here. Didn't Kemp sign a law to get rid of Fani? No. Yesterday, Governor Kemp, they signed a law. They had actually put in play basically a new institution to keep a watch over DAs. So I think don't quote me on this, I think there's 50 DAs in the state of Georgia, but this is now a oversight group for the DAs. So the idea is, if I understood it correctly, because I did do a little quick research on that yesterday, the idea I understand is kind of like with we saw with Fani in the cars. Everybody saw that issue, or Fani refusing to get an audit. Now the state, the city council has an organization that they can go to and say, "Hey, we've asked the DA to do an audit for an audit, and they're not giving it to us." They now have an oversight committee that they have to respond to. It's sad that you have to, strong arm somebody like that, but that's how I understand it. But I will be looking a little bit more into that as well. So good shout out, good question. I love this question. Imagine how big Atlanta would be if we didn't kill all our babies. I mean, that's sad but true. Yeah, there's no lie detected there at all. Okay, yeah, I do know that aluminum foil, tinfoil I had was a rift off of not getting radio waves in your brain. That's why I use it. It's like I'm being facetious about conspiracies, so that's why I say it like that. Maybe one night we can have a question night on different quotes, terms, etc. I think I understand what you're saying, because Peace Baby, if you're not familiar, Peace Baby is an Australian, and they have some different terms than we do, of course. And so I wouldn't be opposed to that. If you shoot me an email, we can do something, sure. Oh, by the way, I did see this comment right here from Michael. If you want me to work with somebody, or you think I should reach out to somebody, please email me. If you would email me, it would really help me out the best. So I'm gonna drop my email in the chat, or if the moderators would help me out and drop the email in the chat, it'd be great. Modern Renaissance Man, he seems like a great YouTuber. I'd be happy to work with him, or if there's something I can do, collaborate with him. Absolutely. If you know that, if you have an insight with them, if you've already connected with them, if you are one of them, shoot me an email. That would be great. I'll be more than happy to share the platform, or to work with them, or do something like that. I think it's always fun to interact and give some other voices. So absolutely. Like this guy right here. What in the world? What is this guy talking about? Dear people in Atlanta, don't move to Texas. Atlanta must be stopped. We got Corey Minor in the building. Great content creator. Makes fantastic content. Go check him out. Strong brother. Great content. He also has a fantastic hair routine. It's fantastic. You'll check it out. He has a great head of hair. Absolutely. But pray for him that the guy would get a beard. He needs to get a beard. Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much, Kiana. Thank you so very much. Good to see you all. All right. I want to ring your ears. Okay, my tinfoil hat comment has gone viral itself. Good to see you, Queen Fab. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, it is more bureaucracy. And I agree. But at least it shows like they're attempting to rein in, because DAs just don't seem like they have any checks and balances. I don't know how it's gotten this bad. And I don't know, maybe it's an Atlanta thing. You know what? All of us should probably look in our own local governments and see there's probably a lot of this foolishness going on and such like that. So, I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, it is more bureaucracy at the end of the day. All right. Oh, Rebecca, good to see you. Grace and peace. I'll make sure you have access to the replay. We've watched a couple things. We talked about a couple things. So, hey, but you're right here now, and this is the right time to be here. Make sure you hit the like button now that you're in. Hit the like button 3 times if you think Corey Minor should grow a beard. All right. Good to see you, Nakia. Always good to see you, sister. Grace and peace. Corey's hair is awesome. So you even got people hollering at you in here. Corey, good to see you, man. Let me tell you, Pauline, if you have access to Viva, I know someone, Mercy yesterday, went on his channel and said, you should reach out to Dear World Christian. He literally said on the live stream, hey, I think he screenshotted it and said, I think I'll look into that. Hey, I would love to talk to him, because He seems like a great guy, has great head of hair, if you will, but he also seems like he has a great legal mind because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just here reading newspaper articles and doing my very best to make the best decision possible. But yeah, I would love to talk to Viva. There's a ton of them. I would love to talk to Phil Holloway. And like I told y'all, Phil Holloway's office is literally a block. It's actually closer to my studio than the Supreme Court here. So, I mean, really, he's real close. Yeah, good brother, man. Corey over here. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Smart Christian's channel. Give him a shout out. He's doing some great work. Just tons of different content. So check him out for sure. Oh, yes, please. Paulus Armstrong, are you in Texas too? Because let me tell y'all, I want Atlanta to be closed. Let me tell you, I want it to be closed. I think we should just put a moratorium on city growth for a while and allow cities to catch up. I mean, I think that would be great. Atlanta must be stopped. You can't go to Texas. Go to Alabama. I mean, Alabama is a great place. There's a great middle ground. Mississippi. Y'all can revitalize Mississippi. There you go. Oh gosh. Susie, why in the world are you starting these conversations this early in the morning? It's too early in the morning. It's too early. I don't talk about TikTok stuff that much because I don't know much about. I hate to say it, I don't know much about TikTok. I just know that it's kind of weird to me. I don't really like it like that, but yeah, I don't talk much about it. Bearded people are trying to hide something. All right, everybody, go to Corey's channel and thumbs down every video on his channel. Just do it. Just do it. After you subscribe to him, of course. Good to see you, Jarena. There's another great Christian content creator. Please do me a favor. Go check out Jarena, follower of The Way podcast. She does some excellent work. She's been talking about Fani as well. She's been talking about females and their roles in leadership and such like that. I think you all would definitely enjoy her. So check her out. If the moderators could drop a link to Jarena's channel in the chat, that would be excellent. So everybody can quickly go over there and check her out and give her some support. And that would be wonderful. And then also make sure y'all go by Corey's and tell him to grow a beard. Help him out. Absolutely. Where is the state attorney of Georgia? You know, the more questions you ask, Robin, the more I'm starting to think that my city and my state is in trouble. I don't know. That's a great question. You know what? We might need to shut this whole thing down. Georgia might be closed. Georgia might need to be stopped, not just Atlanta. That's a great question. Where's the attorney general? I don't know. And let me add a little caveat. I don't understand all of the chain of command. And I know Susie earlier this week kind of dropped that flow chart to see like from the governor all the way down. There's some, I didn't go back and revisit it. So there's sometimes I don't know, like, so should the attorney general step in and address this issue with Fani? I don't know. Should the attorney general step in and deal with all this backlog in Fulton County? I don't know. But that's an excellent question though. Yeah, Caustic Chameleon. Yeah, Mercy did that and then shot me an email. I thought that was great. Like I said, I am totally open to talking with probably anybody except Corey. I'll probably talk to anybody and have a good conversation with them. If you know Phil Holloway, I'd love to talk to him. And again, have him come to the studio. We can do a live interview and kind of talk about the things that he's seeing and so forth. Because I don't think this story is going to end. I'm just going to tell you all that right now. No matter what, Judge McAfee could be coming back with a decision right now. We still are going to be going through this. We're going to still be here talking in November. I'm telling you, because they're not going to stop. Is today Pi Day? It is Pi Day. You know what? So Pi Day is March 14th. And if you're a school teacher, you know about Pi Day. That's crazy because my kids didn't mention it today. They usually are baking pies to take to school. They didn't even bring that up this year. Okay, they don't care anymore. They're middle school and high school. They probably don't even care. But yeah, if you're an elementary school teacher, that's all they talk about that day. all the holidays come and go when you're not in school because you don't engage with them. So you know what? I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right. Chris says, Fani not being disqualified would be great for your ratings. I hate to say it, but you're probably right. But you know what else would be great for my ratings? If y'all would just give me 5 more. If I can get 5 more likes, it'd be fantastic. Then I can be at seven. That could be at 230. That would be excellent. Come on, help me out. Help me out. Don't get Susie talking about pie, but then also keep in mind, Susie does not live here. Susie lives in Texas. So Queen Fab, don't let her, she'll have you hopping on an airplane or something. Great question. The prosecutor's crimes or immorality does not matter unless there is a direct conflict with the case. I totally understand that. I just don't think that and I guess if that's the law, then that is the law. I don't think we actually practice that in reality. The 49th law. I don't think we practice that in reality. I don't think we would say, oh, well, an axe murder, hey, it doesn't impact the fact that he's my kid's second grade teacher. I don't think we would have a problem. We would have a problem with that. So I don't think we can say, hey, well, this person is immoral. Now watch, somebody's immorality doesn't impact whether or not they can cut grass. I don't think most of us know the moral standing of our landscapers, okay? But, the moral standing of your banker, your accountant, does kind of play into a role. So if your accountant is cheating on his wife, or your accountant has a propensity of not being honest on financial documents, you would look at it and say, well, I don't think we would say, oh, it doesn't impact my taxes. Oh, doesn't matter with my money. I don't think we would do that. And again, I understand the law says something, but I think we can all understand, like, yo, yeah, that's going to be problematic. Yeah, I've actually been to Paul's Popeyes off the square. I rather the Australian bakery, Queen Fab, but when you come down to Podium Studios, we can make it happen. We'll go get something from Paul's. We'll go get something from Australian bakery. There we go. All right, let me see. Thank you so much, moderators, for dropping those links in there for Jarena, and I think Corey's has popped up in there. Thank you so much. There you go. Wait. Ashley says, my beard is what adds to my excellence. Absolutely. My chin crown is on point. It's not on point today. It needs to be polished up, but maybe we'll go by the barber today. You guys in this pie thing are out of control. Absolutely, Tina. That is a statement. There's no lie detected right there. I don't know about the Attorney General. That's a great question. Please let me get Phil Holloway on. I would love to talk to Phil. I've reached out to several of these people that we've seen their content that are here in Atlanta. I would absolutely love to hear what they think about this and answer your questions and have them take questions. Oh, that would be great. That would be wonderful. Okay, this is a great question. I'm sorry, right here. Rebecca said, why doesn't the bar step in? I think the bar is stepping in. There's a lot of things moving around that we don't see. I know there's an ethics investigation. I don't know if the bar can just step in unilaterally and just kick you off the bar. I don't know how that works, but I know that there's a lot of different things moving, kind of like that investigation that we saw at the Georgia State where Ashley Merchant was being interviewed. So I think there's a lot of different moving pieces that are moving simultaneously. I don't know. That's one of the things I would love to ask Phil Holloway. What is the process of being disbarred? Or the lead attorney, what is the process of being disbarred? Because I think Nathan should be disbarred yesterday. Just my opinion. I think he should be disbarred yesterday. He lied. I think Fani has lied enough on the stand under oath to justify being disbarred or some kind of punishment for that. That being the case, I don't know what the process of that is. Yeah, Q, I'm right there with you. It's just the beginning. I don't think there's any reason to believe that this is going to end. Don't take your shoes off because we are not done here at all. Oh, so Chris Carr is the AG, and he has a horrible, rather terrible reputation, supposedly a lack of integrity. Yeah, the more we look into this, I'm like, yo, Atlanta, we must be stopped. We got to be stopped. We got to. Thank you, Nakia. Please make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're finding value in this. My name is Jason. For all those people that just popped in, my name is Jason. I am a Christian content creator that likes to talk about social commentary and such of that nature. And so I found interest in this case because it's going on in almost my backyard. And so I decided to come on and talk about it. And lots of people have an idea. Lots of people have questions. So we just kind of look at information to help us hopefully better understand this, because I find it fascinating. And every now and then I tell bad jokes like that I'm a pre-K law student. That basically means I'm not in law school. I've never been to law school. I'm not an attorney. All I have in my bona fides is that I've watched every episode of Law and Order and Law and Order Special Victims Unit. That's all I got. I see some good family reunion going on. Lord, y'all in these cupcakes now. Now y'all talking about cupcakes. Yeah, today's potty. I mean, that's something fun. That's something fun. Yeah, you know what? That's something good. Yeah, I think schools have kind of chimed down on that. Like my schools used to talk about it all the time. But thank you so much, Julie, for hitting that like button. I appreciate you. What happened to Anna Cross? I don't know. There are so many questions. That's the thing I love about this case, because there's so many eyes that are watching it. And because of that, people are asking questions like, I totally forgot about Anna Cross. Totally forgot about her. Where is she? That's a great question. I have no idea. But I guarantee you somebody in this chat is going to look it up and they're going to find it and have us on point real soon. What I got here? All right, good to see y'all. Good to see. The prosecutor's crimes in the form of kickbacks suggests selective prosecution. Oh my gosh, you're right. That is directly in conflict with the charges filed. I mean, I didn't need any more information after closing arguments. After Grandpa and Boots came up there and did what they did, I didn't need any more convincing. They sold me. If I had not already bought, they got my name on the dotted line. I was buying it. The longer this has gone on, I think truly Fani did herself no favors by getting on the stand. In my opinion, that was probably one of the worst moves next to hiring her boyfriend that she could have done. But by doing that, she put the spotlight on her that I don't think people were paying attention, looking at her with that level of scrutiny until she did that. And with that being the case, now what I'm saying with that is she showed, I don't think people would have known that these were really, truly kickbacks had she not got on the stand. We would have all speculated it. We would have all thought that there was some shenanigans and some funny business going on, but she verified it. And so there was no question about it. And I don't think they would have ever called her on the stand. That's the thing that was amazing to me. So her own pride and arrogance and masculine energy to stand on business and such like that, she did that to herself. Nobody did that to her. I'm not putting that up there, Pumpkin. Yes, I am. Okay. Yeah, I hope he comes back, but I don't think that's going to probably still, people going over Nathan's credit card information. That has been pretty funny. That has been pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie. Marietta Diner does have some great cakes and some fantastic. You're right. Definitely, yeah. Marietta Diner and all of their subsidiaries, Marietta Fish Market, Cattle Company. They have a new cattle company now. Yeah, they're great. Okay, before you do that, Queen Fab, my daughter will take you to her favorite ramen place. It'll change your life. I didn't even like. I remember eating ramen when I was in college. I'm like, yo, this is like a 75-cent meal. That ramen was so amazing. Like, yeah, it's in the Marietta Market. She'll take you, and she'll show you how to customize it. You'll never go back. You'll never look at it the same. Yeah, Taylor won me over with that. Like Taylor's like changed my whole. Yeah, she's a fantastic foodie. Just an average man says Fannie's DA office abuses RICO. I've heard that a lot. They throw RICO out a lot more than anybody else. They use it as a force plea in deals due to the multiple defendants with the lower burden of proof, and then the pleas force cooperation against the ones who continue to fight. I see it. And you kind of can see that even in this case. To say RICO, to claim RICO, and there have been several people already who've pled out. Yeah, I can see it. Sorry about that. I was feeling that, Jeff, but I was thinking, I was like, there's got to be a story behind this, but I don't have time to unpack it. There's got to be a story behind this. I just don't, I figured as much. Yeah, Tina brings up another point. We talked about this yesterday. The fact that she's using the same technology in another case, yet she says the information isn't sufficient for her case is suspicious. But keep in mind also, they're using the same expert to analyze the data from the Cellhawk report. So Ashley Merchant and the DA's office are using the exact same person. Ashley Merchant says it's valid. Fannie says it's not valid when it's being used against me. That's crazy. Yeah, I think I think also the larger organizations and much more egregious crimes. So, like for example, the YSL case here in Atlanta, we're talking about drive-bys, we're talking about drugs, we're talking about um, tons of money laundering. There's a lot of issues. So to me, and I want to say, don't quote me on this, I want to say it was like 20 defendants. I could be wrong, but that YSL case to me made sense to call it a RICO charge. What they're talking about as relates to the election to me didn't make sense, in my opinion. Again, the pre-K law student. All right. I've actually, I appreciate, look, let me tell you something, Caustic Chameleon. I really appreciate you. Um, yeah, he's on vacation because I called his office yesterday. So they told me that he's on vacation. Um, So, I mean, I would love to have him. Let me tell you, I would love to have Phil come to the studio, sit down for us to do a live at my studio to talk about this and hear his insight. Because I mean, I've learned a ton from him, and I've got several other videos in queue that we could listen to. I mean, he's seems like a really smart guy and really cares about the law, and in my opinion, cares about Georgia, which I think is really important nowadays. We need that. We need some people that care about Georgia. Mobile gas? You gonna downgrade them to mobile gas though? Wow. I'm sorry, gas station, not just gas, not the gas company, but the gas station. Wow. Man, that's a knockdown for sure. I mean, but when you look at some of the stuff he's done, some of the shady stuff, you're like, yo, how did you get this far? Okay, so I was saying because we're still going to be running. That was my example I was using, Rebecca, when I said, don't take your shoes off. But hey, you can take your shoes off. We can get comfortable. You know what? I'll use that one better. Take your shoes off, get comfortable. I ordered some more popcorn from Uber Eats. Let's get comfy because we're going to be here for a while. There we go. The popcorn is being popped. We got the industrial strength popcorn popper, popping popcorn. We got cases of cool beverages being delivered by the hour because this story is going to go crazy. Can you imagine if he delivers delivers his decision today? It's currently 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If he delivers this, let's just say at 3 o'clock, he decides to just like, to heck with it. Here it is, go. And throws it out. Oh my gosh. I really think the whole world would go crazy. Yesterday, somebody sent me the link. They were talking about this in India. I mean, they talk about it in India, for crying out loud. Man, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. So yeah, this is a great question Robin asked. Where is the financial oversight for the DA's office? I think it's supposed to be the city council that we watched that approved her getting money to buy cars. Yeah, the clerical errors. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit more of the vibe that Atlanta's more corrupt than I knew. The longer this is going on, the more we'll realize it's like how corrupt we are. Yeah, I'm with you, Andre. Andre says, Kemp and Roethlisberger, Carr, they all have to go. I wish we had better choices. I agree. I cannot disagree. No, thank you all. Let me tell you real quick, station break. I really do appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with me, reading these articles, giving me your feedback, commenting, all that kind of stuff. The 3 people that gave me a thumbs down, the whole bunch of y'all that hit the thumbs up and hit the thumbs up 3 times. I really do appreciate it because your time is valuable. And I appreciate that you have the time to come and hang out with me, give me your thoughts and opinions, and hopefully all of us together get a little bit more understanding on this matter, which I think is great. So that's what I'm about. So thank you. What do you got here, average man? What are you talking about here, my friend? RICO is intended for larger enterprises and organization, crime gangs. I mean, I agree. I agree at that. When I yes, I agree with 100%. She uses it for almost everybody because she can group defendants together, and there is a much lower burden of proof. I agree. All right. Dear woke Christian, just wait until May 4th. Oh, May the 4th. Okay. Us space nerds will be having a good time. The bad thing is, Caustic Chameleon, we're going to still be here May 4th. And I know that. There's no other way around it. We're going to still be right here. Griff MG coming in with the comment, has anyone done a health check? It should be called, it's a wellness check. That's what it's called. A wellness check or proof of life on Anacross. That's a great question. That is a great question. Personally, I think they need to do one on Abate. To me, his closing argument was so bad. I would definitely tell him that he needs to stay within the open spaces where there's cameras all the time because something's gonna happen to him. That's a great question. I don't think they're a conflict of interest, Mary. Mary asked, is the church speech and the book a conflict of interest? No, but I do think they go to show the church speech made a great case that you are now poisoning the jury pool. The book goes to show that that Fani Willis gave access to the writers of that book, back behind the scenes access that nobody should be getting access to. So it does go to show, again, her decision making, goes to show her ability to make good decisions. And then you couple it with all these other missteps, all these other non-forced errors that she's made. And I don't know how you feel comfortable that you're going to get a good case out of this? That's the question I have. I don't know how they're going to. Now, again, you could think that Trump is as guilty as today is Thursday. That is perfectly fine. Do you want him to be found guilty by hook or crook, or do you want him found guilty by the proper legal proceedings that are going to shut it down, and there'll be no room for appeal, no room for any questions or comments? Which one do you want? To me, hook or crook is what Fani would do. I would want him to be tried in the most honest way possible, so that even I would be convinced, like, yo, that dude is dirty. Oh man, oh wow. But no, that's not going to happen, because Fani's as dirty as today is Thursday. That's the problem. Fani is fungible. Why are y'all people like this, man? Cooked her own Grey Goose. She cooked the Grey Goose. The Grey Goose. Man. That's so funny. Like, nobody needed to know that. She did not need, if she had not come on that stand, nobody would be cracking jokes about Grey Goose. Nobody. That is so funny. If Anna Cross pops up when this is all over, until this is all over, that would be hilarious. Like, yo, where has she been? Please do a wellness check on Anna Cross, please. All right, what we got here? I'm assuming the DA's office, this is hilarious too, says, I'm assuming the DA's office has a financial controller. The most qualified candidates typically hold advanced degrees, industry certifications, and years of accounting and financial experience. I agree. I just don't know why she's refused to actually submit to an audit. Like, how's that even possible? To me, that is amazing to me. Like, yo, we're going to do an audit. Like, no, you can't do it. How does that work? We haven't made the chili sauce yet. We haven't made it. It's just been busy. So Big Girl is at school pretty much all day for play rehearsal and such like that. Taylor had a late night yesterday. We're going to do it on, what's today, Thursday? Our goal was to do it Friday or Saturday. So we picked up most of the stuff. I think it's avocado oil they didn't pick up. So we had to go pick that up. The South will rise again when we get rid of these good for nothings. That's what we got to do. We got to start running some good for nothings out of our cities, and we'll be okay. All right. Everybody in Fulton County is catching RICO charges. I mean, that's about right. They catching strays for days, man, for real. Yeah, that's a great question. Like, where is the money? Where's the money at? That's a great question. RICO's just, Chris says, RICO is just a way to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and to get people wrapped up in the storm to flip on others, even if that sometimes requires false testimony. Yeah. I've heard lots of bad things about how RICO is used. Now, I've heard good things, in my pre-K law class. I've heard good things about how RICO is used. I have heard very bad things about how RICO is used as well. Hey, do y'all mind if, real quick, can I get like 14 more likes at the current moment? My guy's under 300. I just want to see if I can get 14 more. Y'all help me out. And if you find value in this type of content, can I get 14 likes? But if you don't, can you like hit the thumbs up button 3 times? That's kind of like this. That'll work. Trust me. I'm a professional. Dear woke Christian, y'all could do a dual cast, each streaming on their own channel. Each gets the shares views. Absolutely. I'm assuming you mean Viva, or I want to meet Viva because he knows how to stream on Rumble. And I watched his show yesterday. I'm like, I have no idea. Rumble is very complicated. I don't know how they're going to streamline their system and make it more user-friendly. But he just went from YouTube to Rumble without any problem. I'm like, how did he do that? So let me tell you, I will absolutely, if you're talking about Viva, I'm all about it. because I would love to find, I want to just know how he did that, because Rumble is not very easy. I'll just tell you that. Oh, you're in the UK? Yo, my international people in Australia, Griff is in the UK. Yo, thank y'all so much. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I do not take for granted that you all, some of y'all are in way different time zones than me. And y'all are hanging out and answering questions and asking questions and having a good time, all the kind of stuff like that. I really do appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Man, that's dope. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think I totally understand there's a legality issue. Sure, the law doesn't say that you can't take your boss on a cruise. Okay, got you. I totally got you. Sure. So we're going to take that and I'm going to just put it over here for a moment. Now, right here, do you honestly want me to feel comfortable with the fact that this man getting paid 3 times more than his peers with less experience is taking the person that approved his 3 times pay on cruises? Am I supposed to be okay with that? Just let me know. Am I really supposed to be A-okay, thumbs up, Charlie, about that? Really? It's Pi Day? That's how I'm supposed to feel? I don't know. I don't think most of us would be okay with that. And I'm like, I totally understand if there's a legal issue, but can you not see the problem with that? And the fact that y'all lied. Now, if y'all was keeping it all buck, keeping it all above board, and it's all 100, everybody knew about this, that would be different. Y'all, no, this was a lie. It just seems like I wouldn't want, again, you might want the whole book thrown at Trump. Okay, that's fine. But don't you want to ensure that that justice has been done versus just get rid of this guy because I just want the book thrown at him? To me, that doesn't seem like it's fair. And what I'm hearing a lot of people say is, I just want that man something bad to happen to that man. I want his dog to bite him. I just want something bad to happen to him. But why? Where is that? Because the Lord actually will meter out justice. That he will deal with Trump perfectly, but he also deal with Fani perfectly. And Nate, he gonna get dealt with. And Terrence, he gonna get dealt with. And so will I. And so will you. Perfectly. Perfect. There will be no issue. He's gonna meter out justice perfectly. But why do we want justice to be skewed and not be fair? I don't know why. That seems weird to me. It just seems strange. So it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I wouldn't mind you liking the video, but Susan's correct. It still drives up engagement. Sure. I just want to know that you enjoy it. That's all. If you liked it and you didn't, you like that guy right there. I don't like that guy right there. I don't like those green eggs and ham. I don't like them, Sam I am. And you just give me a thumbs up. That's fine. Or you do like them. I do like green eggs and ham. I do like them, Sam I am. And you give me a thumbs up. Fun story. I used to actually have green eggs and ham perfectly memorized. And for Dr. Seuss Day, I would come to school dressed as the Cat in the Hat, and I would we would do all kinds of fun, crazy activities for kids for Dr. Seuss Day, all that kind of stuff. So mine would be reading. So I would always read Green Eggs and Ham to them. But the fun thing was I would always read Green Eggs and Ham and the book was upside down. So the kids are like, well, how in the world is he reading it and the book is upside down? And it's because I had it memorized. So I still know quite a bit of it, but I need to go look at it. I think I have it in my kids' bookshelf. But anyway, that was just something fun. Okay, moving back on. Oh, there's going to be dusty comments. There will be dust. That is true. Good to see you. And of course, Angel Wings. Always good to see you. Anna Cross still has, I think you mean Fanny's number on block. Oh, for sure. They unfollowed each other. They blocked them for sure. All right, breaking news is happening right now. What? Wait. Yeah, those are conflicts. Those are true conflicts. But see, people are trying to, and I think the law says something that the conflict can't impact me getting a fair trial, basically. I mean, summarize it. But yeah, I just don't. To me, I don't like why are you okay with that? That's the part I just don't get. Like, why are you okay with that? All right, let's see what we got real quick. Somebody said that there is. I don't know how to get them. Somebody asked me, have I ever thought about getting some funky channel emojis? How do I get them? Tell me how to get, I've thought about it. I'd love to get some channel emojis. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, bond servant. Why would you want somebody tainted? Like, why would you want that? Again, he might be as guilty as today is Thursday. But again, why would you want somebody who themselves is problematic? And I'm not saying you got to have a perfect DA, but this one right here, I think we all can agree. Like, that one's pretty messed up. Okay, I don't see any breaking news. I see somebody said breaking news. I don't see anything. And I'm on Atlanta's news source. Right. What news are you watching, Rebecca? Oh, I'm perfectly fine with it. If you can help me with some emojis, Angel's Wings, absolutely. I'll be giving out custom emojis. Absolutely. Okay. Hooker crook sounds like you've given Fanny future job options. That is messed up. You are so. I had to read it out loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did. Susie got me. All right, on X. Okay, let me go back. All right, let's see. Y'all are cracking me up with this. But I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. So there's no reason to be surprised. All right, what do we have here? All right, I don't. You talking about Benny Johnson? All right, let's see what he has. I see nothing. I see nothing. Wait, is he saying? Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm looking at the Benny Johnson judge decision to remove. I don't think that he just. I don't think it looks a little clickbaity, and I'll tell you why. And let's pull it in. Let's check it out. I don't know what he. All right, so it's about 8 minutes long. I think this is it. Is this what you're referring to, Rebecca? Because it looks like it was from. It looks like it's from yesterday. So I'm hoping I'm on the right one before. This is what I saw. But just kind of scanning through, make sure I got. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's nothing new. Okay. Because this looks like it's from yesterday. Oh, no. I think it's going to be tomorrow. I think it's going to probably be first thing in the morning just to mess up everybody's morning and have y'all. The streets are going to be empty because everybody's going to be staring at their computers tomorrow. That's what's going on. Yo, what did you say, Brando? Fanny is going to charge DWC, lead attorney, and the rest of Atlanta. That's it right there. I got to screenshot that. I'm going to jail. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious and probably true. Oh man, but I'll be in good hands. I'll be in good hands for sure. Because Lord knows they probably ain't gonna be able to find my house because they can't seem to find Nathan's receipts and the cash that they keep in the house. So there you go. All right, there you go. Problem solved. That is hilarious. We're going to all be on RICO charges. I mean, sad thing is true. That's probably how she decided that. All right, let's see. Valor Warrior says, because Georgia law on audits, the audits are done every 3 to 4 years, I think, and they are done by impaneled grand juries. Over a few days period, there is zero oversight into where our state funding goes. Wow, man. That is so embarrassing for us, man. Wow. That is so, I didn't know that. Man, it's so sad. I'm hoping that we can figure out a better way, because it does seem like that is not a good way to handle it. All right, okay. See, again, like, if Fani had not been on the stand, Fani would not have said what she said. And therefore, there's the problem. She was her own worst enemy in this case. I guarantee you, however this pans out, most of it will be able to be pointed back to something that Fani Willis did, whether it be she got herself in trouble or whether or not she didn't. But I think that's going to be it. RICO is a designation. Let me make sure I have the right, was the proper, what do the letters stand for? But it is a charge that a district attorney can hit on a group of people that have committed a crime. And all right. Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. All right. So, for example, Peace Baby, just to be real simple, and I'm going to drop the Office of Justice Programs link in here. So, for example, the joke was that, and there you go. The joke was that Fani was going to charge all Atlanta YouTubers with RICO charges. Well, she would say, I'll just pull this in so we can, though I don't think she's going to do that. I do not believe that that's going to happen. However, so they could say that we were racketeering, influencing, and corrupt organization, that all of the YouTubers are racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization because they were influencing you all to see her in her office as completely incompetent, or that we were corrupt because we were sharing information and coming on each other's channels and encouraging you all to see Fani and Nathan and Terrence as horrible, rotten, low-down, dirty scoundrels. So that would be it. Now, granted, that's being as bombastic as I can, of course, with my pre-K law school knowledge, but I dropped the link here so you can kind of check it out and kind of dig into it a little bit more. But that's basically what it is. It's used to lump a whole bunch of people together with a crime. So, for example, again, everybody in this chat is a member of Dear Woke Christians, racketeering, corrupt crime family, and all that kind of stuff like that. So and of course, they would try to get others to say, "Oh, I heard Jason say something terrible," or "I know Jason is a low down, rotten, dirty scoundrel, and I can prove it." That kind of stuff. So that it's kind of meant to get people lumped in who don't want to, so they'll plead out and they'll try to turn witness in order to get the person that they really want, which would be me or whomever. I hope I made sense. If that made sense, hit that like button. Help your guy out. Help me out. Since I'm going to get caught up on RICO charges now. I agree right here. Michelle says, I was encouraged at Judge McAfee's statement that no job is worth my integrity. Amen. And I'm glad that he said that. Check my DMs. I got my DMs. I'm checking my DMs. What am I looking for? On my DMs. All right. I'm assuming you mean on InstaTube, on Instagram, or on YouTube. Let me look on Instagram real quick. That's the other thing about multiple the social media platforms. Okay, here we go. I'm looking real quick to see Angel Wings. Shoot me an email. Karen hits the nail on the head. This is the first sentence. Fani should not have barged into the courtroom like that without being called. That was it. That was it. Almost like a housewife show drama. Using the church for her pulpit was not cool either. There's a lot of uncool stuff, Karen. But yes, you hit the nail on the head. W for that, for sure. Instagram. Oh, thank you so much. All right. So I am there now. I think I got it. All right. Now I see. All right. So NPC is announcing that the judge's decision is imminent in 20 minutes. But is it really, though? Is he going to drop it in 20 minutes, though? Is he going to do that? I don't know, man. These people are cracking me up. I'm going to keep it over here on the side, though. I got it. Thank you so much, Angel Wings. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff. She did meet with Liz Cheney. I heard that as well. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Yeah, peace, baby. Email me so we can schedule a Southern U.S. Australian terms and speech and etymology exchange, because I have no idea what calling the pot black. Oh, okay. I got you. You're saying that's like the kettle calling the pot black. I got you. Okay. Yeah, we still need to meet. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Really? Okay. You never get spam calls? Hey, I'm glad that cell phone providers now are giving you the scam likely option, and you can just go ahead and block it. That's been amazing. So I'm all about it. Yes, please email me if you have a question, comment, concern. You don't like something, you want to complain to management, dearwokec@gmail.com. Oh, is Lacey setting me up for RICO charges? Is that what she's doing? Oh, man, we are all in trouble. But you know what will get you out of RICO is if you hit the like button. That will guarantee that you'll be absolved from the phony, false, and fake Fani RICO charges. I'm just saying. All right. I think I'm with you. I was team Thursday initially, but now I'm like, I think he's just gonna wait till tomorrow. It might be like early tomorrow, though. It might be like first thing in the morning, like before you even brewed your coffee. Like, here it is, it's out. But, and then again, like, hey, he might say, look, I got you on Saturday, homies. I mean, he might just mess your whole day up. Okay, Governor Kemp's new law. I mean, the fun thing is that they were already working on this last year. So they approved it, if I'm not mistaken, they approved it last summer, and it just now getting the law signed, which was yesterday. But they had already approved it. So that was actually before they knew a lot of the stuff that was going on that we knew, rather. All the stuff that's going on with Fulton County. So, oh my gosh. I mean, you got like a down dirty. Is it something I can read, or you got a website, or what? Oh, it'll be absolutely. That's exactly what. If it's not today, and it's not first thing in the morning, it's gonna be at 4:59 and 13 seconds. You know it. You know it. Let me look real quick. And the bad thing is, all of us are sitting here waiting. All of us are sitting here waiting with bated breath. It's gonna be crazy. We got the morning people. We got the 5:58 people. 5:59 and 12 seconds. Oh, wait, what's this? 1:20 or 2:30 tomorrow, right after lunch. Why? Why not right before the end of the day when people are getting in their cars, getting ready to go to leave? Interesting. I mean, it's very possible. Look, he might do it over midnight tonight. I don't know. Okay, this is a great question. People have asked this before. I'll be honest with you, and we had somebody who actually lives in Fulton County. She was in the courtroom during, she said a lot of the hearing. Atlanta's not really worried about this. You'd have to ship people in to be upset about it. Let me say it like that. Nobody's like, there will be no riots. If she's disqualified tomorrow, there will be no riots. There'll be people mad and upset and talking heads and the such. If she's kept in office, there'll be no riots. There'll be people mad, upset, talking heads. But that's just it. People are just going to be upset. They're going to disagree. They're going to agree. They're going to find he's a terrible person. He's a national treasure, whatever. But I think it's all going to be constrained within the interweb, so to speak. I don't think anybody's gonna go outside and act a fool. That's my opinion from what I've seen and observed. A lot of people don't even know what's going on. Like I talk to people pretty regularly in real time, and they're like, oh, I didn't know much about that. So I do think we have to keep in mind that not a lot of people are though I do think there are more people than we realize that are aware. I don't think people are like invested. Like, oh, we gotta go out here and protest for Fani. Now, what I think, however, is this Sunday, let her be disqualified. This Sunday, black churches are gonna be insane. Now that is gonna be real. They're gonna be so violating. They're gonna be just saying some of the most reckless stuff. Now that is true. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be crazy. All right, so we got a lot of Friday people. A lot of people think it's going to be Friday. I see no reason. It could be today. I know I keep going back and forth. I just don't see at this point, like, just save it a Friday. I think he's just going to save it a Friday and just call it a game. Fanny's going to be in church on Sunday, demanding more from God, as usual. I'm shaking my head. Let me tell you. No, I think these pastors that are going to somehow or another spiritualize this case into something, whether it be she's disqualified or kept in office. Either way, it's going to be untenable. It's going to be really gross. Oh no, that's been a thing. They've done that before, Costa Camellia. But I don't think you're gonna be hard pressed to get Atlanteans, people that live here, to be upset about it. So if you get somebody out there protesting, everybody's gonna be looking like, who's that? Where they come from? Because that's not us. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Yes, that's it. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of churches out there politicking for Fani. I don't have time to talk today, but shoot me your email. Shoot me an email, please forgive me. And let's coordinate something. I would love to hear, because, RICO is a real thing. So we can definitely talk about it if you want to jump online or something like that. Just an average man. I think that'd be fun. Oh, they're going to be off the chain, man. They're going to be ridiculous. Andre, they're going to be so out of control. Yeah, there's my email again, average man. Thank you so much, Susie. Yes. See, that's what, to me personally, I think this Fani Willis thing, same thing with when Carlton Pearson passed away. I think it's really shown like there is a complete and utter distance between what is considered church and what is being portrayed. What did you say there? Oh, that's me. Thank you so much, Angel Wings. Angel Wings just dropped my Twitter right there. Thank you so much. I think that's me, yeah. All right, what we got here? Mind Manners with Dr. Jada. She says, loving your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Grace and peace. I think he's going to wait till the last minute, the 11th hour. He's managing his mental well-being. Let me tell you, the mental stress that man must be under. And look, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Again, it doesn't matter where you land on the political spectrum. I think we all can agree, like, this is just a dude who got the luck of the draw, so to speak, to oversee this case, and he just want to go home and love his wife and kids. Like, I got mad respect for him. I hope it works out well for him, though. However, I kind of agree with you about the 11th hour. If that been the case, I think if he had just kind of just throw it out there and then go do his work, I think it would be good too. But it's gonna probably drag out till tomorrow. But by the way, Mind Matters with Dr. Jada is another content creator. So if y'all don't mind, go by and check her out. Check out what she's doing. I did actually, now I remember, I saw her video on Fani and Nathan earlier. Yep, I did see her video. So go check her out. Video, I'm gonna grab that link. If the moderators would grab that link for me, it would be fantabulous. And matter of fact, here is her channel right there. Check her out. See what she's doing over there. Good to have you. Thank you so much for stopping by, Dr. Jada. Absolutely. Yo, having Fani try to explain scripture was so painful. And look, I'm not trying to be all super deacon, okay? But that was just a violation. There was a lot of, I was going to do a flag on the play. Matter of fact, let me get a flag on the play. Where is it?
Flag on each and every one of y'all.
She needed it. That's what Fani needed. But you know what else Fani needs? Yo, but yeah, her violating scripture like that was embarrassing. And the fact that those people that sat there and watched her and keyed and hand waved and Black Funeral fanned it, like, y'all, that's y'all fault. That's your fault. Wait, what is this? Yes, thank you so much, Angel Wings. Appreciate you. Here is Dr. Jada's link as well. Judicial Watch has sued Fani for comms between Fulton County DA and the January 6th committee. Really? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, to me, there's entirely too much baggage and foolishness. There's no way to think and feel like you're going to get a clean trial of this case. And let's just pretend like it's 100% legitimate, everything above board, that Trump is as guilty as today is Thursday. Why not have the best DA possible? Why do you need a DA with this much garbage in their tank? And I'm sorry, I do believe that they knew this. I don't believe it. If you live here in Georgia, you kind of understand there was a little bit of open secret about this relationship. So it wasn't as secret as they try to make it sound when she was on the stand. So why did you tap her to do this? I just don't understand. So if she's kept in office, the corruption will be even worse. Judge McAfee will have set a precedent. The outright corruption will escalate in more counties across the country. I agree. I think, but my 2 cents, again, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student, okay? I've never been to law school. I think there's much more corruption in other places. It's just here in Georgia, this one has gotten all the spotlight because of who it is that they are attempting to deal with. the former president. I don't think anybody, like, how many of y'all knew about the YSL RICO case? Not many. It's been going on for years here. So, and it's, again, one of the largest cases here in this, I want to say in the city, definitely. It might even be in the whole state of Georgia. It's a pretty large case. But my point in that is that was a larger case. It's been going on longer, and none of y'all really knew about it. The only reason we know about this one is because of who she's trying to prosecute. And that, I think, is the only reason that the light has shown. Because, like, look at Dalton, Illinois. Y'all know Tiffany Henyard is a whole mess. Louisiana, how about that one? What about the one East Point, Michigan? They're all over the place. I mean, they're all over the place. Horrible, corrupt politicians. And we're only hearing about them because of certain things like YouTubers and bloggers and such like that. But I'm wondering if, Georgia, hopefully we will course correct and go back in the direction of less corrupt government. I don't know if that's going to be the case. However, I think there's far worse than Georgia out there. Just my 2 cents. You know what? I'm thinking, okay, if Judge McAfee, all right, here we go. If Judge McAfee does the wrong thing, and by wrong thing, I mean he doesn't rule tomorrow, Friday, but he says he's going to rule on Monday. So we got to go into the weekend. I'm going to do the church speech. I'm going to look at the church speech and give my critique on the church speech in real time. If most of you all are new to my channel, that's actually what most of my channel has been, giving critiques on speeches and sermons and lectures that surround the Christian faith. And I point out what the actual scriptures say in relationship to critical race theory, Black Lives Matters, and social justice and progressive Christianity. And because a lot of people want to talk about this case, that's why I've been talking about this case. So I will do, all right, if Judge McAfee does the wrong thing, and by wrong thing, I mean he doesn't rule tomorrow, I am going to do on Saturday, I am going to do the church speech. I'm going to do a full sermon review of the church speech. There we go. And now, if he does rule appropriately, I'll probably do it another day, and we'll figure that out. I mean, it was wild. It was wild. So let me see. All right, what we got here? Absolutely. Christ brings a sword. Absolutely. So I'm wondering, and this is what, like, if I get somebody like Phil Holloway to come on the show, or like AV to the Seventh Power, somebody who actually went to law school and who actually is an attorney, not like me, a pre-K law student. I would love to ask, like, what was the process? Why was Fulton County tasked with bringing this case? Could it have been Gwinnett? Could it have been Alpharetta? Could it have been Athens? Could it have been somewhere else? Did it have to be Fulton? I don't know why it had to been Fulton, and that's why I'm wondering. But or what would it take? And then my other question would be, like, what would it take to be a change of venue? If you say, hey, Fulton County is totally biased by all of this that's going on with Fani Willis, we're going to move this case to Tifton, Georgia. Or we're going to move this case to Rome, Georgia, or Blairsville, or something like that. Somewhere probably needs a golf course. So definitely Augusta. We're going to move it to Augusta, okay? St. Simon's. Like, I wonder what it would take to move a case. First of all, how did Fulton get the case? That's what I would love to know. And then what would it take to move? What would have to happen in order to move it from Fulton to Cobb? Please, please, please move this case to Cobb County. If you all don't know, I live in Cobb County. I live like 5 miles from the Superior Court. My office, my podcast studio is like a whole whopping 2 blocks away. I am so ready. Please move it to Cobb County. I'm telling you right now, as sure as my name is Jason, if they move this crazy case to Cobb County, I'm live streaming from there every day. We're going to go get ramen. We're going to go get pies. We're going to sit in the Marietta Square and just live stream and talk trash about it. It's going to be wild. The problem is, I don't think it's ever going to get that far. Oh no, I love Viva. I think he's a great commentator. He has a great legal mind. I'm just learning. So if anybody wonders, I just like talking about this stuff because I think it's really fascinating. I think a lot of people can understand law faster than they can understand other concepts. That's just my observation. Because most of us have an understanding of right and wrong. So we can see something that's right and say, yeah, that's kind of right. Or we can see something that's wrong and say, yeah, that's wrong. But on the flip side as well, we can say, hey, man, you're saying that's right and that's not. So we can kind of understand justice. We kind of understand right and wrong. Now, granted, when you add the law into it, the law of man, it can all get real cattywampus. So that's why I like talking about this kind of stuff. Karen, please, if that happened, I would absolutely stop breathing. So y'all would have to call my wife and say, your husband is on the floor dead, because this right here would be so funny. She says, I think you, Fanny should barge in before a judge gives a decision and screams out, not guilty. Judge McAfee must know the climate of the community and the world awaiting his decision. I feel like a child counting down to Christmas Day. Absolutely. But also, let me, because I listened to the interview that he did on the local radio station. And please understand, that decision, if it's 145 pages long, it's going to be read, scoured through. Every jot and every tittle is going to be scrutinized. So therefore, I really believe that he's doing his very best to make sure what he puts out, it will, because it's going to be consumed by everybody, whether you can read or you can't read. It doesn't matter. It's going to be everybody's going to have an opinion about this decision. Because I'm telling you right now, the hitman is going to be reading it. I'm going to probably be reading it like in my cat in the hat outfit. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. So I think he's really trying to be fair. I believe he already knows what the decision is. It's the actual writing of it in a way that everybody can accept it, and whether or not you're gonna, because you don't want him to come in there and look like he wrote it, 45 minutes before, on his way driving to work. You don't want that, and you don't want something that looks like he didn't care about it, or he didn't put any time or effort into it, or cite quotes or cite case law or anything of that nature. He's writing this for lawyers. He really is writing this for the Supreme Court. Okay, he's writing this for the Supreme Court, and he's writing for the pre-K law students. All right. So I personally am fine with him taking the time, especially when I heard that he's still trying cases, and he wrapped up a murder case the other day and all this kind of stuff. You know what? You can go work. Okay, Scott, you got my permission to, actually be a provider for your family. That being the case, I'm okay with the decision being as ironed out, as fine-tuned as possible. Because good gracious, you don't want him to come out there with something that looked like Fani Willis gave it, with like a whole bunch of, it's in my head and I paid cash and all this kind of foolishness. You don't want that. Oh my gosh, that would be horrible. Not a problem, Dr. Mandy. Thank you so much. Dr. Jada, please forgive me. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Thank you for doing the great content that you're doing. Yes, Kiana likes that kind of stuff. I know you like that type of content. So I didn't know much about the YSL case. Now, let me take that back. I knew about the YSL case because I was looking for a place for my studio initially. And one of the people involved in the YSL case actually owned the building that I was trying to secure to build my studio in. And a neighbor, when we were walking around with the realtor, a neighbor was like, "Oh yeah, this person owns it." I'm like, wait, who? And they explained, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So we were never able actually to secure the building because it was all tied up in this foolishness. And it's actually right here in Marietta too. But so that's how I knew more about it than probably the average bear, because I just thought it was crazy. Like, how are you gonna own a building up here and I can't buy it? What's up with that? All right, what we got? Yeah, I see that too, but imminent, you know what? Jesus Christ's return is imminent too. There we go. So I don't think I think it's gonna probably be tomorrow. Didn't okay, Brandon Burks, didn't you all have a mayor that was very similar to Tiffany Henyard up in East Point, Michigan? And she I don't remember her name, but she just Monique something. She literally just got removed. She was not reelected. Removed. She was not reelected. And if I'm wrong, let me know now. I won't be saying something bad about East Point, and I didn't mean to. Yeah, see, I don't know. Lacey just says right here. Lacey Ann says the Young Thug case is outrageous, even though they're a gang. The evidence isn't RICO. See, I don't know all that ins and outs. That's why, again, I'm just a pre-K law student. However, I do think that the argument that she uses RICO a little bit aggressively, I do think there's some validity to that. I can totally see that there's some validity in that discussion for sure. Oh, absolutely. Tiffany is a man. Every day that goes by, she really needs to step down because every day that goes by, more people find out how corrupt she is. All right, what else? What else? What else? Isn't the state capital in Fulton? Technically, yes. It's in Atlanta, and Atlanta is in Fulton County. Yes, that is correct. The state capital is in Fulton. Yo, who buys something from Temu? I just want look. I keep seeing that ad, and they're like, "Shop like a millionaire." You want me to believe that millionaires buy this stuff? That's what I'm supposed to believe. I'm sorry, billionaires, not just millionaires, billionaires. Look, I got my law degree from Temu. There we go. That's it. Yeah, I don't think any other lawyer is going to want to touch this. Alpharetta is Fulton County. I was trying to cost a chameleon, trying to come up with some other counties because I don't think in counties that often. So I was trying to come up with some counties, and so that's what like Athens. I don't think is a county, or is it? I know it's a city for sure. I know Tifton is a county, but I was just trying to just kind of paint the picture that it could go somewhere else. Why did it not go somewhere else? Blairsville has enough traffic. Yeah, that's true. It's north of where I am, but look, we'll take it in Cobb County. I know that. I speak on behalf of Cobb County. Jasper does have enough money. It does. What's going on, Violet? There we go. Happy Thursday to you, everybody. Violet, my sister from Berean Babes podcast, a fantastic content creator. If you want to, and I think you do, want good quality content, go check out Violet. Violet, drop your link in the chat so people can check you out, see what you're doing. I don't know how they got the case. That's really what I want to ask somebody like Phil or somebody who's smarter than me or somebody who can just give me a timeline. How did Fulton County get the case in the first place? I'm assuming I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how Fulton County got this case. And then from there, I just wonder like what's the process of a change of venue if it comes out that Fulton County is too biased to this case or whatever like that, we're going to move it to another place. How would that go? You know what? I don't think, as it relates to the divorce case, because yeah, Nathan Wade did file for divorce up here in Cobb County Superior Court. And that's the first thing that made me like start wondering, like, why is he up in Cobb County? And then I really think that was the day that I started looking into this case when I heard he filed for divorce. I'm sorry, they sealed the divorce hearing in Cobb County Superior Court. Like, wait, that's where I'm at. Why is he up here? He's in Fulton County. And I went down a rabbit hole, and here we are. All right. I see you, Don Trump. I see you, man. I see you over there. Looks like some good family reunion going on. Lots of good conversation going on in there. I love it. I love it. She didn't make a statement. I see the news caught her somewhere, but it was like no comment, no comment. But I do think that was interesting that she didn't issue a brief or anything of that nature. But I think being the fact that the reason that those charges were thrown out, in my opinion, seems like because they were rushed and they didn't give good definitions and good descriptors. I think a reply back would have only shown that she doesn't do her homework and she didn't plan this out. So I think if she came out with a reply on Monday, that would be enough time and that would make sense, in my opinion. No, Barbara, I'm not a woke Christian. It started out as a joke. And actually, I'm going to have to find that video. I did a video explaining the name Dear Woke Christian, but no, it's not for woke Christians. Well, I mean, well, let me take that back. If you profess to be woke, no problem. Yeah, no problem. But no, I am not woke. I'm awake at the current moment. So I'm looking.
We could get the judge's decision on Fani Willis. Will she be disqualified? Fani, of course, is the infamous district attorney in Trump's Georgia election case. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. We begin in Florida. The judge there considering two motions to dismiss. One on what Trump's team says is special counsel Jack Smith's unconstitutionally vague use of the Espionage Act. The other is on how he used the Presidential Records Act. Smith claims the motions are just another example of Trump thinking he's above the law. Today's hearing comes after special counsel Robert Hur defended bringing 0 charges against President Biden. You saw it here live this week. And Biden, of course, illegally retained classified documents. Former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy says Biden could get rid of the entire issue of a double standard if he pardoned Trump.
If they're saying the difference between the two cases is that Trump obstructed and Biden didn't, then forgive all of the classified information stuff across the board, treat Trump and Biden the same way, and try Trump on obstruction.
A packed legal calendar for the former president, smack dab in the middle of campaign season. His New York hush money trial begins later this month. U.S. Supreme Court arguments on his immunity fight.
Oh, this is great. You see that this case, even if Fani Willis is allowed to carry forward or whatever with this case, you do realize this case would still not be tried until after the election. So November 5th is the election, and to be determined, the Georgia 2020 election trial. So it is very possible that Trump could be president, and they're still going to be talking about what happened almost 5 years ago. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Wow. I'm so glad they put this up.
The month after, and the date for the classified documents trial scheduled for May as of now could change pending today's outcome. It's what we're watching. Let's go straight to Steve Harrigan, who is at the courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida. Steve.
Harris, former President Trump is in that federal court behind me. His motorcade arrived just over 1 hour ago. It was led by an escort of police on motorcycles. They closed down a fair amount of I-95 to get him here as well. Many of his supporters actually arrived at dawn in a large convoy of their own, hoping to get a glimpse of the former president. We might not see him, though, today. No cameras inside that federal court. This is a hearing today, a hearing to dismiss the case entirely. Former President Trump and 2 of his aides have been charged with mishandling classified documents. Those documents were recovered from his residence at Mar-a-Lago after his presidency in 2022. One of the key arguments his attorneys are expected to make is based on the Presidential Records Act. That will be an argument that these documents were personal. Many legal analysts consider an outright dismissal to be a long shot, but a delay certainly is possible. This trial is now scheduled to begin in May. Trump's attorneys are expected to push it to either August or September, if possible. Harris, back to you.
Steve, thank you so much for setting it up. Andrew Chakowski, former federal prosecutor, is with me on the Mez here in person. Great to see you. Let's just start in Fort Pierce, Florida. Are we anticipating that the May trial date will move?
Well, I'm most interested.
I just realized that this is a little bit delayed. Actually, I can jump forward. Okay, I'm going to jump forward to, because I'm not in Florida, so I have not been talking about the Florida case. All right, I'm going to jump to here. I just realized this was a little delayed. Okay.
This decision on whether to disqualify Fani Willis and her prosecutorial lover, Nathan Wade. They are facing a host of misconduct accusations, and the judge so far has not really tipped his hand. Take a look.
I gave myself a deadline because I knew everyone wanted an answer. And I'll tell you, an order like this takes time to write. There's a lot that I have to go through. I am calling it as best I can in the law as I understand it.
The judge that McAfee gave himself is, or excuse me, the deadline is tomorrow. And the case reverberating around and throughout that state. Yesterday, Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill to rein in, quote, rogue prosecutors. That's interesting timing as this is going on.
Well, we have to remember what's going on in Georgia are politics. This is local politics at play, becoming the DA, becoming local judges. That's all very political. And so we have this little community in Georgia who's affecting the nation's politics. But when you look at what's going to happen from the judge this week, we have to see that the only way he can essentially find to allow Fani Willis to stay on the case is to say that it doesn't matter what her credibility was in the courtroom or Nathan Wade's, and it doesn't matter if they had that relationship at a certain time and exchanged certain money. He has to say none of that matters and it doesn't affect the outcome of this trial. So I think she's on the path to disqualification.
Does Nathan Wade go too?
Oh, of course. I mean, I think the question is, does he try to split the baby in the bathwater and have Nathan Wade disqualified but not her? I think that's a difficult case to make, though, because if it matters, it matters. That's why I'm saying the only way he could do this is if it doesn't matter.
If she picked him and paid him the most, those aren't ifs. We know that he made the most money out of all the prosecutors in the office, which is part of the conflict of interest journey that we've all been following. That being the case, look at the mess that those 6 charges showed us that got dropped yesterday. If he's the type of guy who's in charge, do you look at the entire case differently then? Well, if he gets left behind, say she goes, but he gets left, Nathan Wade.
This is the exposure of the problem all along, is that Trump has criticized the credibility of these prosecutions, and now we're seeing it come to fruition.
You know, I keep hearing you say it, and I want to ask this. How dangerous is it to the profession that you love and that Americans need? We need a solid legal system in this country that treats everyone the same. How dangerous is letting politics get in like this with a political opponent going after another person? And you know that they are, because look at least this DA, you've got Letitia James here in New York. They use it as part of their political campaigns.
Well, using the law and using jail as a threat to pursue your politics, that's a real problem. It's been a problem through the history of the world. And that's new in what is going on in politics right now. And I think it's unfortunate. I think it's dangerous to the executive. And I think that the presidency is a very important function of our country. And if that is torn apart, then we have a problem.
All right, President Trump is not the only one spending time in court this summer. Coming up, the president's son, Hunter Biden's gun charge trial, tentatively set for the week of June 3rd. And the judge who famously tore up his plea deal last year said that date now could slide because his tax charge trial is also later that month.
Wow.
When your trials collide. The judge's announcement came right after Hunter Biden declined an invitation from Congress to testify at a public hearing next week with former business assistant.
Let me real quick. I saw a good comment. I asked earlier, I didn't know how Fulton County got the case. Domestic engineer comes in and says Fulton County didn't get the case. Willis brought the case as the county DA by her choice. There we go. It's not a state case. If removed, it basically would go to a board that would see if any other DA will take it. Okay, I definitely got that part. So that would be the change of venue if, in fact, if I'm understanding correctly, domestic engineer, that would be the change of venue if, in fact, Fani Willis and the Fulton County DA is found disqualified, they would jettison it to somewhere else, and that's how it could end up in Cobb County or Tifton or wherever. Okay, I think I got that. Okay, I'm all about it. All right, yeah, she was pretty snarky. I like that, when trials collide, and that's why we call this as the peach rots. That's why we call it that. Matter of fact, I think it's time. I think it's the right thing to do.
In the heart of Georgia, where politics and justice intertwine, a storm is brewing. Welcome to As the Peach Turns. Fani Willis, once a rising legal star, now finds herself at the center of a legal firestorm. Accusations of misconduct and ethical breaches have cast a shadow over her career. As the investigation intensifies, the stakes couldn't be higher. Join us as we unravel the tangled web of power, ambition, and justice in this episode of As the Peach Turns.
Station break. Thank you so much. Shout out to We Watch YouTube, who did those videos. Actually, I'm going to put together all of those. I got like 4 of them. I'm going to put them all together in a little montage. Probably this afternoon. Depends on how we do. But okay, at the current moment, it looks like most of these people are just discussing, the news is just discussing like TikTok being banned and Hunter Biden situation. I don't see anything with Mr. McAfee, but I'll keep it up over here in case that does happen. But no, I really do appreciate y'all. This is great. Hey, if you don't mind, can a guy get a couple more likes? Can I get like 6? You know what I'm saying? If you like the content, if you're finding value, can I get a like or 2? It'd be great. If you don't like it, you know what? You just don't like it. You don't like me. You think I talk too loud. If you hit the like button 3 times, it will definitely do the same thing. It will absolutely do the same thing. Trust me. I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. Why is my brother texting me? Yes, sir. What do you need? I am on live. I'm going to take a picture since my brother is asking me, am I on live? Sir, can you look on your interweb? All right. I've been working on my brother joke, so he's going to come in here. He's going to catch that smoke today. I'm just telling you. But I did see Rick Caldwell. Is Rick Caldwell still in the building? Rick Caldwell. Thank you so much. Oh, we went back to work. There you go. Rick Caldwell from Caldwell Apologetics, another great content creator. Check him out as well. Even though he popped in and left, I think I'll still give him some grace. Check him out over there at Caldwell Apologetics. Can you help me out, moderators, if you have that? If you could drop his link, that'd be excellent. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my brother has popped up in the building. Good to see you, James. Good to see you, sir. Now, you want to jump on? One day I'm going to have him come on and we can talk. So then you can see that not only did I get all of the hair, but I also got all of the handsomeness of this situation. All he got was that he was able to be born 19 months before me. So that's my brother, James. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. Good to see you. I think he's the one that gave me a thumbs down for that. But with New York, you need to use the Apple. Hey, we might need to make, need to make some different intros based upon where we're reporting from. So I need As the Peach Rots, though. That one is right on the money, though. That was right on the money. Yes, real quick. Everybody, give my brother James a shout out. What's up, James? Tell him, James, what's up, man? Put James in the chat. That's my guy. And just remind him that April 17th is fast approaching. Just remind him of that. He knows why. All right, let me see what you got. Can you go to Bermuda with me? I will pay you back with a G whenever you say. Yo, that's craziness. There's no way that would ever work in any other work environments. I just can't believe she did that. And again, Fani Willis was her own worst enemy in this situation. Look at this, man. Give him some love to my brother. Shout out to James in the building. I love you too, man. Grace and peace, my friend. But yeah, Fani Willis created her own problems. And I keep saying it. most of the issues that she had were self-inflicted from the book, the church speech, the Seventh-day Adventist speech. Lord knows, hiring your boyfriend is problematic. Paying said boyfriend more than most people will ever see in their lifetime is problematic. You do realize that Fani Willis paid Nathan Wade twice as much as she makes, and she's a DA, but she hired a special prosecutor and paid them more than she makes. I'm not saying that you did, but I'm just saying, like, that makes no sense. Oh, and by the way, he has no experience in the matter. So then you got the book, and then you got the horrible record keeping. Fani Willis created her own problems. Those are all things that she did. Those are all things that she did. That was her. And to me, it makes no sense. So there's no way that I would feel. No, we call him James. We call him James. We used to call him Jimmy when we were younger, just like they used to call me Jay when I was younger. Yes, thank you so much, Kim. There you go. James, pay attention. Pay close attention. Don't forget. Call your dad, too. Tell him, too. Make sure he knows. Don't forget, April 17th is fast approaching. But there's very little that was done to Fani and to Nathan Wade in this situation. There's very little. Most of it was things that they did. If you just imagine, if Fani Willis had not hired her boyfriend, we wouldn't be talking about this. Or if Fani Willis had noted it, if nothing else, just not hired him as a special prosecutor. It's sad to say, I think she probably would have got away with. There we go. And this is, oh, what am I thinking? Thank you, James. Y'all, real quick, this is my brother's actual YouTube channel. Please go by there and find one of his videos and remind him that my birthday is April 17th, just so he doesn't forget. I don't want him to forget. So please make sure you go by and check him out and remind him that my birthday's coming up. And it would be good for him to remember his younger brother, more handsome brother's birthday. It would be good, James. And call your dad. There you go. Call your dad too, man. Tell your dad, remember Jason's birthday. Pops. Y'all are the best, the best, the best. But again, like, and again, I'm speaking on this again. I'm sure there's probably some legal wrangling that we can get around it. But the fact that Fani would actually hire the man that she's having an adulterous relationship with, who's still married to this day, they're still married. So all that legal, lyrical gymnastics that they were doing, all that verbal origami that they were doing is irrelevant because the man is still married. If she had not hired the man, we wouldn't probably even know about this. I don't think we would even be having this conversation if she hadn't hired her boyfriend. That's it. Or what do they call it? Paramour. Is that the word they were using? Paramour. I had never heard of that word before. But lo and behold, if she hadn't hired him, but that was her fault. Nobody required that she did that. And we're not even going to get into the use of money or anything of that, any of that. What would have got away with? What would have got away with? I don't know if there's a got away with as much as we wouldn't know anything about it. I wouldn't know RD at this moment if Fani Willis had not hired her boyfriend. I think that's fair to say. It's fair to say that most of us would not be on this live stream having a conversation. I wouldn't know Viva Frei, and I wouldn't know Phil. I wouldn't know a lot of you all if Fani Willis hadn't hired her boyfriend. If I give you a like on my TV as well as on my phone, does that help or cancel out the likes? Pardon my ignorance. If you're signed in as the same person on the phone or on the television, so like I'm on my phone right here, and I could log in on my other screen. If I gave myself a like, one of them would cancel out because I'm logged in as Dear Woke Christian. If I logged in as Jason Whitaker on one of them, then I could give myself another like. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, taxpayer money. Yeah, there's just a lot of problems. I just don't think at the end of the day, and I've said this now probably multiple times, and I'll say it again. It really doesn't matter. You could think Trump is guilty as today is Thursday. You could think that he's innocent as today is Thursday. Wouldn't you want justice to be properly measured out so that there's no question? So that even the people that think that he was guilty, even the people that think that he was innocent, when justice comes down, they got to say, "Wow, yeah, man, yeah, there you go. I agree." Then bring the DA, bring a prosecutor, a special prosecutor in that doesn't come with all that baggage. When you sit there and look at how Nathan's finances were taken care of, how his billing was taken care of, you can't feel comfortable about that. Because if that was your attorney, if that was your accountant, you would have some questions. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. Just come on, get somebody right and go on and prosecute it. Now, I don't know if it's going to get that far, but at least do it the right way. You already you come into the starting block with your shoelaces untied. Forget that you ain't going to be able to get to the finish line. You're definitely not going to win, but your shoelace is untied at the starting block. That was wild. That whole thing about the birthday was crazy because, like, there's going to be college courses written about this what happened with Fani Willis, because I don't know if you all paid attention. Fani Willis said that she booked airlines tickets with cash. I don't know how that works because I've not seen anybody whip out a wad of cash at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport to buy tickets. I've never seen it, even when it was more frequent. What are you talking about? She said she bought tickets with cash. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You used a credit card, and you just don't want people to see on the credit card statement. It says that you and Nathan took a trip together. That's what it is. That's the truth. That's the reality. All right, what we got? If the judge doesn't kick them, I will question that decision. Yeah, somebody's going to question whatever he does. If he kicks him out, somebody's going to question. If he keeps him, somebody's going to have questions. That's perfectly fine. I think that I feel more comfortable that Judge McAfee seems to be a straight and narrow type of guy, rather than I feel like his decision, whether I like it or not, because again, he could very well say, keep Fani Willis. I'm going to be like, man, like, what? I'm like, well, I think Scott McAfee, at least is a decent person. Like, okay, he's probably, he saw the information differently than I did. Okay, no problem. But it's different than Fani Willis. You're like, there's a whole laundry list of wrong. So there's nothing that she can do or say that would make the right decision. Win me over. I'm gonna be like, yo, that's a bad decision. So that's my only question, problem, and concern. So, like Fani Willis, she would probably not hit the like button to this video. I'm pretty sure she would not hit the like button to this video. But I would tell her, like, hey, if you don't like this video, Fani, then hit the thumbs up button 3 times. That's all you gotta do. And it's kind of like the same thing. That's what I would do. Grace and peace. Good to see you, Patriot. Thank you for stopping by on today. Yeah, Brando, you right on the money. Like, I'm waiting for Fani Willis. I'm going to call shade as sure as today is Thursday for her to stand in another pulpit and say that she supports Black women. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I'm coming off the top rope, old school Randy Macho Man Savage style. Oh, I can't wait for them to say that. Matter of fact, I can't wait for any Black pastor this Sunday to get in that sacred box and lie on Fani. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait. Because if you tell me that Fani Willis cares about Black women, but she was having an adulterous affair with a man who's married to a Black woman, oh my goodness, it's going to be crazy. Because it's going to be ignorant. Like the amount of ignorance that people are doing, the amount of it is just amazing. It's amazing to hear people try to give this woman duck and cover for what? Why? Why? So your character, so your credibility, so your integrity can be trashed? I did a whole video going over different churches, and Rick Caldwell did one recently as well, going over different churches that were giving duck and cover for Fani. And I asked the question, like, you do realize that you just said that as long as they were consenting adults, it doesn't matter that she was having an adulterous affair. You do realize that you just completely obliterated everything sitting in your pew. Every sinner in your pew that's having an adulterous affair now says, oh, well, we're consenting adults. It doesn't matter. And you did that for Fani? Why? Because you don't like Trump? I mean, fine, you don't like Trump. Okay, that's what it is. But don't turn the scriptures, don't turn God's law on its head in order to duck and cover somebody who's in sin. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. I have no idea how it happens, but there we are. All right, real quick. Yeah, there was a lot of pride in there. Absolutely. Lots of pride before the fall. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, you know what? That's the thing. I want you to just be fair. And I think most people who support Trump, if this was a fair trial, let's pretend like it's a fair trial. I have some questions about the charges to start with, but let's just say they were real charges. And you have a upstanding DA, special prosecutor, no shenanigans, no hijinks, no chicanery. And they bring a case, they bring their evidence, they try to defend, and lo and behold, the end result is that Trump is found guilty. I think most people say I'm fine with that result. Whether I agree with it, no, I don't want, whatever, but I'm fine with the result. But when you have somebody who has lied on the stand, for crying out loud, she perjured herself. Nathan perjured himself. She admitted to campaign fraud. She admitted that on the stand. So you want me to believe, oh, and by the way, she's sleeping with somebody else's husband. So you want me to believe this moral character here, this woman of such high value, moral character, this man of such high standards is going to do the right thing with Trump? Absolutely not. Even if they do find him guilty. With those cats, there's no way it's not going to be a good, clean victory. That's all. My name is Jason. DearWokesy@gmail.com. You have a question, comment, concern, email management. We will always take care of your concerns and put them to the front of the line. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Courtney. Welcome to the team. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for sure. Did y'all see that? So Nathan's divorce filing, when you have to declare what your income and your assets, your liabilities, he declared that he didn't have a car, but his insurance was something astronomical, $4,500. Now, I try my best to be a fair shooter, even if I think you are a complete and utter rascal. I try to be fair. And I said, well, maybe, just maybe, his car insurance and his homeowner's insurance and as such might have been lumped together, all together, and that might have been it. And maybe he doesn't have like a true, because I have 2 cars on my car insurance. I have homeowners, I have life insurance, and all of that is bundled together. And I looked at it yesterday. I'm like, I kind of can understand. I don't know if that's what Nathan's doing. I'm just trying to explain, like, yeah, I guess, every 6 months, ours is somewhere in that neighborhood. I was like, okay, I can kind of get it. So maybe that's what it is. So maybe it didn't break it down individually by 2 cars, 2 homeowners insurance policy. I'm sorry, a homeowner's insurance policy, 2 life insurance policies. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But yeah, it did look weird. But that's my point. Even in that, something small and minute as proper delineation of bills, and you can't do that correctly. And we're not talking, this is not something as important, globally shaking as a prosecution of a former president. And you cutting corners now. You cutting corners on your own stuff. And again, we ain't talked about anything about his IULTA. We ain't said anything about his shady dealings with why Fani hired him as a contractor and not as an employee of Fulton County, because as a contractor, he was able to keep his private practice, which allowed him to say that his income was $16,000 a month, when in actuality, it was somewhere north of $35,000 a month. That $35,000 a month did not show up in his bank account. Where did it go? I mean, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. I've never been to law school. I have no intention of going to law school. I just like to talk about these topics. So I want to make sure I give that caveat again. All right, real quick. I haven't seen it because it's not allowed. I can dig it. I can dig it. Oh, you get a cash discount for paying at the ticket counter. Right. This is a very interesting point. Again, Brando, again, she perjured herself. And he just says, Mr. Merchant busted out that whole cash thing because her answer to the original motion mentioned nothing about cash. Her testifying on this stand was the first time cash was ever mentioned. Again, I'm perfectly fine with them dealing with the Trump case over here. Just get a DA, special prosecutor, grand jury, if they need to go back to special grand jury, that is a clean, no foolishness, no chicanery going on, and just let the chips fall where they may. But there's no way anybody's going to be at rest, anybody's going to be at peace with Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, and running the point on this. They're just not going to be happy because there's just too much garbage, too much trash. And they've shown a propensity of not being fair and honest. You would not do this with anybody else. You would not be fine if your banker was Nathan Wade. If he had been doing the stuff that Nathan Wade was doing, you would not be making a $500,000 deposit into this investment property. You wouldn't be doing that. If Fani Willis was running point on you would want her to be the best surgeon possible that's coming to do surgery on your inflamed hair follicle. You don't want somebody that's half-stepping. Fani Willis keeps demonstrating half-stepping, flying off the handle, lack of professionalism. Is that the person that you want when you're being put under anesthesia, taking care of your inflamed hair follicle? Catch me outside if you have a question. My name is Jason. I live in Cobb County, Georgia. dearwooksy@gmail.com. All right. Fani would give me a thumbs down. Come on, man. She already threw me on the RICO charges, y'all told me. She gonna have me on the RICO charges. So Rick Butler says there is an argument that if Fani and Wade get disqualified, then the judge can also dismiss the case or even dismiss the case with prejudice. I believe he could do that from the bench. I don't think he would do that from the bench. There's also the process of the case. If they get disqualified, the case goes to, I want to say, and again, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. I want to say there's a special counsel for that. I think he would let that pass on to them, let them look at it, see if anybody else in Georgia wants it. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole because it's going to be expensive. It's going to be super duper complicated, even though I want Cobb County to get it because my office is a block and a half, almost 2 blocks from there. I will absolutely be there every day. But if they don't get it, I'm not going to be mad. So they'll probably farm it out to some other district. They're going to say, we don't want this, and it will go away. That's what I think is going to end up happening. All right, let's see. Is she going to charge me with obstruction? Fanny gonna charge me with obstruction? Let me tell you, Fanny, you look, you gonna catch me outside. Let me stop joking because I walk outside. And, yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I find it just so funny. Yeah, thank you so much. The Gospel of Fani Willis. I think that's the video where I looked at all those pastors that were literally preaching about Fani Willis from the pulpit. I mean, from the box, from the sacred box, when you should be hearing the encouragement and admonishment of God's word to sinners. I'm hearing a sermon about a woman who's engaged in an adulterous relationship in real time, in 4K. Make it make sense to me. She did. Fanny kicked out a woman that was a black woman out of her office. Had 7 guards escort her out. Absolutely. I mean, I see no reason to give her any duck and cover. In her book, Willie Doc said, "How did you find out that Fanny was a Roman Catholic?" In her book, Kiana read it right here. In her book, she says that she's a Catholic. So, what else am I supposed to do? I mean, there you go, right there. I mean, she says she's a Catholic. And if you have the picture, if you want to send me the picture, I'll add it to the screen, I'll add it to the whatnot, or you want to text it to me, Q, whatever. All right. What do we have here? All right, keeping it moving. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. And this is it right here, Eric Spence. I've seen a couple of your comments. I'm sorry if I didn't get them on the screen. But yeah, the whole world is looking. That's yet another reason why I believe, in my opinion, they're going to make a decision. They realize that everybody's looking at this. And I mean, it will be a complete and utter dumpster fire if anything else but them being disqualified because everybody's watching. I mean, literally somebody in India was talking about it. We got people in Australia and the UK watching this. I enjoy Viva. I'm having a great time watching him and looking forward to hopefully hearing what he has to say about this. I don't know if it's going to be today. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. No, you're 100% correct, Regina. He was hiding money from his wife. I mean, you add all of this complexity. These are the people that you feel have the best moral character to bring Trump to justice. Again, whatever you think about him being guilty or innocent, he is innocent until proven guilty, but you feel like these are going to be the right ones to do it? A man that's having an adulterous affair with his boss, who's paying him twice as much as she's paying other people, taking her on trips? You would be perfectly fine if this happened in your business, in your office, in your company, right? No, you would not. No, you would not. And you would not be signing up your boss for a boss of the month or year or ever. Okay, I do see this comment about Keisha Lance Bottoms, former mayor. Yeah, I'm starting to realize how corrupt my city is. My city is it needs Jesus, man. Let's just tell the truth. Okay. But so are all of your cars and homeowners and life insurances lumped together in one payment? Because remember that $4,500 was for 6 months. It wasn't a month, it was for 6 months. So if that was the case, I'll just be honest with you. Mine was $3,200. I was like, you know what? When you put them all together, Queen Fab, I'm like, okay, mine's $3,200. I don't have any fancy cars. Okay, I pay cash for all my cars. They're older vehicles, so on and so forth. But I'm like, they probably got fancy cars. They probably got a bigger house. Maybe that would have made sense. So that's why I think it might not be as nefarious as it looked. Right. But this is something good, Valor Warrior. You're right. The man was pulling in almost $50,000 a year. I mean, a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because, yeah, he was still making $35,000, but he was also doing the 14 from his own private practice. That is wild. You can? All right, tell me if I'm something wrong, Mrs. ATL. Tell me I'm wrong. You can pay cash at the stand? Cash, like dollar bills. Okay, if that be the case, I've never heard of it. And I will gladly repent. I apologize. My name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student, and I'll take the L for that. But is that reasonable, though? I mean, I just want us to just think about it again. In the day and age that we're in today, the idea and the notion, yes, you can pay cash for things, and you might even get a discount. No problem. Do you honestly look at Fani Willis as somebody that walks up to the counter at the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport and say, oh yeah, she's going to sit there and put her Birkenstock or her Louis Vuitton on the counter and count out $7,000 or seven for a trip? I don't know if that's reasonable to expect that. Can it happen? 100% certain it can happen. Is that reasonable with Fani? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? That's all. And there's still this one little problem. If she had cash receipts, she would have gotten a cash receipt. So you still get a receipt when you pay cash. She had none of those things. And again, I feel like, as I said before, Fani Willis' problems were hers. She was her biggest problem. She barged into that courtroom and she wanted to testify. They didn't actually want her to testify, but she was the one that did that. And she created all those other problems for herself by saying those things. They probably wouldn't have known. Again, we wouldn't know a lot of these things had she not said them on the stand. Please make sure you email management. You have a question, comment, concern, or complaint. You know what? I'm going to take the L. If you can pay cash at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, I'll accept it. I'll take it. I can't say that I've ever seen it before, but you know what? I don't go to the airport that often. So I'll accept it if that's possible. I'm only asking, is that reasonable in the world that we live in, where pretty much all of us can track all of our lives through our bank statements that, hey, this person pays cash. Now, when I pick my kids up from school, we're probably going to go get Tiny Bubbles. I'm probably going to pay cash for that. But for the most part, is that a reasonable expectation? I don't know. I don't know if that's reasonable. I'm a pre-K law student. I've watched all 21 seasons, please forgive me, of Law and Order, and multiple seasons of Law and Order Special Victims. I am not qualified to give any legal advice. All right, good people. No, but she was at a Seventh-day Adventist church, but she is not a Seventh-day Adventist. She's a Roman Catholic. Yeah, send me the clip, Q, and I'll play it, or if it's if you have it on Kindle, if you have it on that, you want to just screenshot it. But yeah, I mean, she's a Catholic, so I mean, just something to keep in mind, something to remember, to be mindful of. Man, please, I don't got no time for that, man. Look, I don't have time for the feds, man. I'm already being told I'm gonna be on RICO charges. Yeah, she did. Search for the Truth 1111 said, did I hear that Fani Willis threw shade at Nathan's wife? Yeah, absolutely she did. She threatened to, when Jocelyn Wade saw, and I did the video, it's We Never Knew. It's with the Scorpion Queen. And she said that they didn't know about this stuff. And so they deposed Fani Willis, subpoenaed Fani Willis to testify in their divorce trial. And Fani Willis shot back that they were that she was attempting to smear her and embarrass her, and if she did not take this back, that they would file charges against her. Yeah, pretty serious for a unguilty person. Karen just said right here, even the 9/11 hijackers use credit cards. I mean, I'm just saying. So I'm using the word credit card, pretty much credit card, debit card, electronic payment, all of those in synonymous ways. So you can Cash App, Venmo, all those things like that. Some way to transfer funds. Those are a little bit more, yeah, I mean, you can still get a receipt. I mean, you can still show something like, oh, this is my transactions. I sent Eric $20 after we went out to Starbucks or whatever. So I mean, that's still reasonable. But I mean, yes, you could pay cash. It's like you could pay cash at Starbucks. However, there's many places, depending on where you are in the inner cities, you can't pay cash for things. They don't let you pay cash. So okay. Valor, you can't ask that question, man. They're gonna come looking for you, bruh. They're gonna come looking for you. They're gonna come to your house. Can't do that, man. Because guess what? But who keeps thousands of dollars of cash laying around, yet has a tax lien of $4,600 or more? Doesn't fit. Debit or debt? Debt is debt. A tax lien can prevent you from obtaining certain things like credit scores. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I just thought that that was I felt sorry for Abate. I just was like, yo, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I was thinking he was maybe like stressed out because he was in fact arguing for his boss's, freedom or her job. I was like, this is horrible. So I was thinking maybe he was stressed out about that. And the said boss is like sitting right behind you, passing you notes. Like, there we go. Like, you literally pass notes to your attorney during closing arguments. And I don't think that helped him any. I'm sorry, I don't think it hurt him as much. It definitely didn't help him. That's for sure. These questions, these statements are out of control, Brando. Imagine your boss paid a contractor a salary that dwarfs yours, which is true, took said contractor on tropical trips, then wants you to defend her in court. Absolutely wild. That's a fantastic observation. Right. Try buying coffee at my bank. They said no cash. It's a bank. Yeah, just something to think about. I think so. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know. I'm going to still go that out on a limb that it's going to probably be tomorrow, Friday, that he'll make a decision. But anything could happen. Anything could happen. I'll just look real quick, check the traps. I don't see anything that resembles a kerfuffle. I don't see anything that looks like a stir. So I'm going to still go on a limb and say it's going to probably be tomorrow afternoon, 4:30-ish tomorrow. Somebody said after lunch. I don't know what was the magic number about, what was magical about after lunch, but okay. And they were saying like 2:00, but I would love for it to be today and we can just go ahead and get it out of the way and be done and start the second chapter of As the Peach Rots. But we'll have to see. I don't know. It's not a black thing, Tina says. It's not a black thing. My grandpa hid money in the walls of his house, van, his car, but in the bank. CDs. It comes from people out of the Depression era, right? That passed on to the next generation. Absolutely. I mean, there's no argument there. I think they were just bombastic. Like it didn't need to happen. But something is going to happen, and we will find out soon enough. I think soon enough. How about this, my good people? Let's do this. I will keep checking the traps, but I am going to get myself ready to go pick up the kids. I need to grab some lunch, then go pick up the kids. if something happens, let's just go with, if something happens before, too late, I will plan to do another live stream tonight at 6. But I don't think they're going to do it. But if they do, we'll jump back on and we'll talk about it again. How about that? Is that all right? Is that cool? Can I get a couple more likes? Can you help a brother out? Oh, okay. You want my, here we go. I'll end with this. Create with Cindy. Thank you so much. Okay, my prediction. My name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student here in Atlanta, Georgia. Morehouse graduate, class of 1999. I gave you all those bona fides because I'm just letting you know. I think Judge McAfee is going to disqualify Fani, disqualify Nathan, and the case will have to go to whatever council it is who will shop it around. There will be no district that wants it. Cobb County, here where I live in Cobb County. Cobb County will pick it up. Cobb County will look at the information and they will make an absolute, utter fool of Fulton County. They are going to put every single piece of misprinted, not fully completely filled out, unsigned document out for the world to see. And they are going to excoriate them. And then they're going to say, there is no good reason for this case to go on, and it's going to go away like the wind. So that's what I believe is going to happen. Because keep in mind, we've already seen how poorly Fani Willis and Nathan Wade do record keeping. And we've already seen it literally in the case. So we already know the reason Judge McAfee threw out those 6 charges is because they were done poorly. Imagine how many more of those there are. Imagine how many other opportunities there are for them to have cut corners and such like that. So in my mind, I think they're going to, Fani and Nathan are gone. It's a wrap. It's going to go, they might as well start looking for another DA. And those other DAs are going to be able to look at this stuff that they've been doing and say, I'm not going to go recreate the wheel. I'm not going to go get, table a new grand jury. I'm not going to do this. You didn't even have this document filled out correctly. You didn't even do this correctly. This is not the proper form, whatever like that. And it's going to be a mess. And they're going to say, there's no reason to do this. Goodbye. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction. I'll probably be some form of right, wrong, but that's what I think is going to end up happening. So how about, okay, let's do this at 6 o'clock, or let's do it 7. I'm going to do a live 7 Eastern Standard Time, and I want to hear what your predictions are. If we don't already have an answer, if we have an answer, then it's going to be on and popping, okay? That's going to be crazy. But if we don't have an answer, maybe we'll come on and we'll just see what you all think. What are your opinions about how this thing's going to shake out? Because we'll know tomorrow, which is Friday. We'll know probably by this time tomorrow, or definitely by the end of the day tomorrow. So, yes. Oh, you said your brother called. I thought you were talking about my brother. Did my brother call? Yeah, Nathan has it all in his brain. So we know it's safe there. It's safe there. But that's my opinion on that. But I want to hear. So look, I'm going to do another one if something else pops off. I'll do another one this evening and have y'all come back in and we'll just talk about what do y'all think? What is your prediction? And I'll call it the prediction show. And we'll just kind of get an overall. I'm just going to be pulling up comments, letting you share your comments. What do you think this is going to go? What do you think is going to end result? So on and so forth, and all that kind of good jazz. So how about that? You like it? I love it. Can y'all please hit the like button on the way out of the door, if you don't mind? The comments, Eric, let me tell you this real quick. Eric, this is going to be the last one. I'm not going to keep talking because y'all keep bringing up stuff and I want to talk about it. This comment section is the absolute best comment section, bar none. Catch me outside if you want to fight. This is the best live chat on the whole YouTube, whatever. Block, universe, whatever. This live chat is the best. Catch me outside if you got a problem with what I just said. Y'all are the best, man. I'm sorry. I will fight anybody who wants to disagree. We can come outside. Me and my Stanley Cup, I'm going upside your head. This is the best live chat, bar none. Y'all are rocking. I love it. But hey, how about this one? We'll do it again real soon. I thank you all so much for all of this. You all are fantastic. Thank you so much for finding value in what I'm doing. I appreciate the encouragement, all the love, all that stuff means so much to me. And I'm just loving it. So let's just keep this rolling. We'll do it again this evening. How about that? I'll put it up shortly. Catch me outside. Absolutely. Catch me outside. I need to make a whatchamacallit about that. I need to make a sound effect for that. Because otherwise you're going to say, what did he say? I'm working on my memes and thumbnails. I mean, my memes and sound effects. All right, this is the last time. Thank y'all so much, everybody. I really do appreciate you. I'll see you all real soon. Take care. God bless.